Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your friend Mr. BDA with you, and along with me my co-host King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Sensational. Now remember guys, if you want to join us, go to Google Hangouts and send us an instant message via the email address that's on the top of your screen, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. That's boxingdebate@hotmail.com. The place tends to get a little jam-packed nowadays, so if you're gonna do it, make sure you want to, and not because you're procrastinating about joining the show. There's a lot of interesting comments out there. I see you leaving them in the chat room. You're like little mice, you know. You gotta find them, but you tend to get away. Anyway, guys, you might not think it, but there is a lot going on in boxing right now. All right, now we have a fight tomorrow. Two fights, actually. One is Golovkin versus Martirosyan, which a lot of people didn't think was going to happen. A lot of people didn't think Golovkin was going to get a dance partner this late into the fight or close to fight week. Finally, about 2-3 weeks ago, they managed to get something going there. And they managed to find Vanis Martirosyan. Which, you know, not a bad fight. Unless, of course, you remember that fucking Vanis Martirosyan hasn't fought in about, what is it, 2 years? So that kind of takes away a little bit of the pop away from the fight. Still, it's better than nothing, really. If, and it's a big if, Vanis comes in shape and how he's been looking in his past fights, he's never really been completely dominated. His only losses are to Demetrius Andrade, Jermel Charlo, and Irlanda Lara. Very close fights, all of them. He's got speed, he's got some, decent hand speed, decent power. He's 5'11 and a half. So it's not like he's that small a guy. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, this freaking Vanis, he's a 154-pounder. Come on, guys. 154 pounders. Is that really that much difference between that and a middleweight? Back in the day, there was no junior middleweight division. You were either a welterweight or a middleweight. If you weighed more than 147, you were a middleweight. I think people tend to nitpick when it suits their needs. But anyway,
it depends on the fighter, man. Depends on the fighter.
That's
where he started his career, his height, his body frame. And Vanis is a tall guy. He actually weighed a bit more than Golovkin in the 30-day and in the 7-day weigh-in. So he's not a small guy.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Again, we'll have to wait and see the weigh-in. Did the weigh-in already take place, or is it about to take place in an hour or so?
I think it already took place. I think so, because on Facebook I saw a stream.
What did you see on Facebook?
I don't know if he was playing. I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, apparently it already took place, and according to Boxing Scene, it says Golovkin slightly heavier than Martirosyan for middleweight title. But then again, 7 days ago, apparently Martirosyan weighed more. That tends to happen with Golovkin. He tends to have some rather bizarre weigh-ins. Prior to the Canelo fight, a couple of weeks before, he looked a little soft. Then he went into the fight looking ripped, or about as ripped as Golovkin can look. But I'm looking here for. No, it doesn't say the weigh-ins, man. Oh no, yeah, it does. It says Golovkin got on the California State Athletic Commission scale at exactly 160 pounds for the 12-round bout. Meanwhile, Martirosyan came in at. Come on, 159 and a half. 159 and a half. So they made weight. We got a fight tomorrow, which is better than nothing, really. But Butcher, the one that first of all, let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat room: Brandon White, Pavel, Foulpole Boxing, Undercover Asian, Graham Lanson, Hakuna Matata, Steven Skilrose, and many more to come as well. Pavel, didn't you say you had some investigative report for us? Or do you want to give us information before that and then give it tomorrow? I mean, it's your choice. I'm not pressuring or anything. I'm just curious. You piqued our curiosity with your investigative journalism. But anyway, let us know in the chat room or shoot us an instant message on Google Hangouts. Well, Bucho, I want to tell you something and everybody else out there. I said, and I've been saying up to the lead up to the month of May, that I wasn't looking forward to at all for the Bellew Haye fight. Didn't care about it. Didn't want to look forward to it. There's nothing really at stake in the fight. That was my opinion. Well, boxing desperado that I am, now that the fight is here, I'm actually I'm actually looking forward to it. I don't know about you, man.
Oh, why did you change your mind?
Well, because first of all, like I said, I'm a boxing junkie, so anytime there's two guys, I think they're gonna make for an interesting fight. The first fight was kind of exciting. The crowd made it exciting as well. Those British crowds, especially when they're invested in the fight, because it was a bit of a derby for them. Man, the crowd was nuts. Haye was swinging. Bellew was making him miss. Bellew has very good underrated defense, good upper body movement, and a little bit counter punching there too. It was an exciting fight, and the reason why I'm looking forward to it now is because David Haye has come in great shape as always. Really, Tony Bellew still looks a little bit like he's got what people call nowadays the dad bod. He's got kind of like love handles. You can't see his abs or anything, but that doesn't matter when you weigh 220 pounds. You don't have to look good to be a good fighter in the heavyweight division. And so Haye, he looks rejuvenated. He looks revamped to make something happen. Meanwhile, Tony Bellew, always a good talker. He's decrying that Haye tried to sexually assault him on Wednesday or Thursday's last press conference before the fight. So that's making things a little more interesting as well outside of the ring. A lot of trash talking. And so I'm looking forward to it, man. I think they're going to put on a good show. And go ahead. Because I think I know what you're going to say.
Bellew weighed in at 210 pounds, not 220 pounds. That was.
I think I said Haye. I think I said
okay.
Haye.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were being sarcastic because you said he looked good. He looks good at 220 pounds. I'm like, what?
No, Haye looks good at 220. I mean, he looks ripped.
Okay.
Like I said, Bellew doesn't look good. He has that what they call the dad bod. The dad bod, which is like no definition, kind of like a beer gut a little bit, love handles. But like I said, doesn't
steroids, matter. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. David Haye looks like he's on something, man.
Could be just those, genetics of growing up in Millwall. I mean, near, what's the neighborhood? No, what's the neighborhood where he grew up? What's the neighborhood that Millwall? What's that?
I don't know shit. I just know the team, and he's a Millwall fan. I heard Millwall fans are fucking really like crazy fans.
Yeah, I gotta get myself a Millwall t-shirt. When are we gonna get a Millwall t-shirt, man? We gotta order one on the mail.
Yeah, nobody's gonna know what the fuck that is.
That's the thing. We're gonna be unique. It's like if somebody in England wears a Montreal Impact shirt, they're gonna be, what the fuck is that? But that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you stand out from the crowd. That's what we're all about here at BDA Boxing, standing out from the crowd. And also, I think we should emphasize, if anybody's listening out there that normally doesn't listen to the show, this is a comedy entertainment show that's centered around boxing. So if we do make some jokes about somebody, we're being sarcastic, we're using a little bit of, what's it called? Satire. It's just sometimes we'll come up with little, fake news and all that. Fake news that are funny, kind of like they do in The Onion, right? So yeah, so nobody sue us.
We should put a disclaimer in the description or something.
Yeah, we should, shouldn't we? That's a good idea. But anyway, Bucho, like I was saying, the Haye-Bellew fight, here's the thing. Neither guy, it really has that much upside in the division. Maybe do you think Haye still has a little bit more upside, seeing as how he does have good hand speed for a heavyweight, even at his age, than Tony Bellew, who's really...
When did you see that, though? Because I see him as slow as fuck. In his last fight, he looked slow.
Mm-hmm.
He did weigh 233 pounds or something, I'd like to say.
Yeah,
he looks really slow. I don't know where you're getting this idea that he's still fast. I mean, this is a slow David Haye. Yes, he did come at 220, but Jesus, I still think he's slow, and we're going to see that tomorrow.
All right. Well, I mean, I do agree with you that...
Yeah, that speed is gone. I can guarantee you that speed is gone, man.
But what I was trying to say was... what I was trying to say was that maybe he has more hand speed than most heavyweights out there. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, well, yeah, because they're all fatzos, right now, all the heavyweight divisions. I don't know what people are trying to make us believe, that this is a new heavyweight division and it's back and it's full of names and characters. Like they're all slow and fat still. I'm not impressed by the heavyweight division, man. There's Wilder and Joshua, two big names, but talent-wise, they are. There's nothing impressive here.
All right, now
And
let
so
me ask
yes,
you.
David Haye is
Let me ask you this.
faster in
Can I
relative
ask you
terms.
something? Can I ask you something? Who beats?
Yes.
Who wins between David Haye and Jarrell Big Baby Miller?
You know what? I don't know. Because David Haye, to me, he's a shot fighter, man. From what I listen, I can tell you that from what I've seen, David Haye looks shot, and we saw it against Tony Bellew.
Hmm.
Now, can he prove me wrong? Yes, anything's possible.
I
But
think
so
he's gonna
far, I
try
think he
to.
loses against Baby Miller. I think he loses against Joseph Parker. He loses against most top heavyweights, man.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I tend to agree with you. I'm just trying to hype things up a little bit. And by the way, speaking of hyping things up, this man needs no hype. We got Stu on the line.
I wasn't bad though.
I told you what's going to happen to Price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
That's right.
What's happening, boys?
Good to have you on, Stu. Just talking a little bit of boxing. All of a sudden, or at least I'm looking forward to a little bit the David Haye versus Bellew fight. But I understand you got into a bit of an altercation a couple of days ago with people from the Boxing Voice.
Well, it was last night. I mean, I rang in to talk about his car crash interview, basically, but I never got a chance to really say anything. It was just interrupting me and putting sound bites over my voice and just being a complete dickhead. Him and that fucking T-boy Matt. So I thought I'd bring a video out and get my chance to reply without sound bites in the background. Do you know what I mean?
Now, may I ask what the point of calling in there was? Like, what was your goal? Just to rub it in a little bit that he had.
Yeah, just have a little pop at him and just have a pop because he's been chatting shit for weeks. I've had enough of his garbage, so I just rang him up to tell him that he embarrassed himself and it was a shambles. But I never really got a chance. So, I mean, they turned on me, made it all about me because they're talking about me like I'm a media outlet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a media outlet. I come on your Hangout and that's it. So comparing me to you guys, I mean, sorry, comparing me to them, I just don't get it. I mean, when he's talking about his microphone, it's like a plumber boasting that he's got better pipe benders than I have. Of course you have. It's your fucking trade, you donut. Of course you have.
Now, when you say they were,
go on.
Well, when you say they were playing sound effects, kind of like this.
Let's get the fuck out of this country, motherfucker. Shit flying in my mouth. Shit flying in my mouth.
Was as annoying as that, or less annoying?
No, yours are better than theirs. Those are just fucking.
Oh, it's an annoying. Yeah, it's a horn sound, like a, like a fucking boat horn. I don't know what the fuck it is. And they were all giggling and shit. Like they didn't let Stu make his point. It was fucking annoying, man.
It was. Matt was going, I'll be remembered long time after you're forgotten. This
my
guy is
God.
talking like he's a superstar. Like I said, he's a nobody. He's an absolute. I'll tell you what. I bet his mother don't even fucking know who he is. Do you know what I mean? So,
I want to be remembered, man.
Yeah, but that's
he's gonna be remembered, all right, to be the fucking biggest knobhead ever to grace the Boxing Voice. Well done.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, like Butch is saying, like, okay, you want to be remembered, but you know, like I said the other day, Jeffrey Dahmer is still remembered, but that's not a good thing. You know, it's what you remembered for that matters.
But it's like someone calling in your show, having an opinion. It sounds, I didn't like your interview. It was a bit of a shambles. And then you turn around and say, well, how many views have you got? We've got more views than you have. You're a faceless nobody. Where's your Eddie Hearn interview? I mean, it's just childish shit. Do you say that to people that call in on your show? I'm not a media outlet. Like I said in the video, I mean, if you want to compare yourself to media outlets, and try and compare yourself to the big boys, but like I film London TV, but you can't. Like I said in the video, it's like comparing a Commodore 64 to an Xbox One. You know.
Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, by the way, before we continue this conversation, I want to remind people we got Cameron on the line.
Fuck, mate, it's life, man. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Because everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
That's right. Cameron, are you there?
Yeah, man. It's good to be talking boxing tonight, because last night I was down the beach with a girl dancing a fucking women's music, man. Wasn't sober. So it's good to be on here and actually getting back to real life.
What's female music?
Oh, you know, fucking Shania Twain and all that dog shit, man.
Now, Shania Twain used to be hot. I mean, she still got a little something going for her, but man, when she was in her prime, and apparently she's a Trump supporter. So if you're into that type of shit, she should get your dick hard right up there.
I was down here, man. I asked Butcher if there was a show last night. And then obviously when he said there wasn't, I thought, right, half 10, went over half 10, went down the beach until like half 1. Had a good time down there. Yeah, man. So I'm just glad to be back on with my priority straight, and that's coming on BDA Boxing.
Sensational. Glad to hear it. Listen, like I was telling Bucho and the crowd out there, all of a sudden I'm looking forward to the David Haye Tony Bellew fight. That's how much of a boxing degenerate I am. Yeah,
man, me too. I said that to a friend of mine earlier on when I was watching the weigh-in. I thought, because all this time I'd be like, nah, I can't get into this fight. I'm not really looking forward to it. And then today I've just thought, I'm looking forward to the fight now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Mostly because it's the best fight that we got this weekend. I mean, you can't really get into Golovkin Varnas. I'm not really watching that, but I mean, Haye Bellew, at least he's got some excitement about it. In terms of you don't know what's going to happen in the fight. Haye's so bad in terms of his body now. You don't know what's going to happen in the fight. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, look, if you're going by the eye test, the fucking guy David Haye looked pretty good. He looked in. I mean, I know we can't expect his performance to be good just based on the fact that he looked ripped, but he did look ripped. So, and he did come in lighter than he did in his last fight. So, make of that what you will. But at least he seems to be serious in his training. I mean, does that mean something? Or like, I mean, I know in my experience, it can be 50-50 when a guy looks good.
It's because his career's on the line, man. He wasn't taking it serious the first fight. I think it's obvious he didn't believe that Bellew was on his level, and now obviously got a reality check. Now he knows his career's on the line. He's taking this fight seriously. He's in shape. He always looks in shape, Haye, but he's in fighting shape. He's lighter. You've seen him in the gym working. He's kind of stopped talking. He's been in the gym training. He's taking this fight seriously this time. He has to, because if he loses this fight, and even if he wins but doesn't look great, he's not going to be put in a big fight. And if he is, nobody's going to be interested in it. If Haye goes in and looks spectacular, knocks him out in a few rounds, and without any trouble, then you can put Haye in a big fight again. But if he's in there struggling, maybe getting knocked down and winning, nobody's going to want to see him fight. So he knows that he has to perform in this fight.
It's interesting because what happened with David Haye, now all of a sudden his career on the line, he reminds me a little bit of Roy Jones, who, there was a period where he wasn't really that into boxing, and then once he lost it all, he couldn't leave boxing. Is that what happened with David Haye? Did he try to become a superstar, a TV or movie superstar, and now he realizes that boxing is really the safest bet out there?
I'll let Stu go on that one.
Yeah, I need some answers on this one because I don't know much about, like, what's David's...
I don't want to answer everything, man. Let Stu answer what I'm saying.
Well, Stu,
answer what?
About David Haye, what's his Q rating over in England? I mean, how many people know him compared to, let's say, Anthony Joshua? I mean, I know Anthony Joshua is a bigger name right now because he's got the upset. But David Haye, do people know who he is over there? Or
I'd say he's as famous as Joshua.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah,
he's been around a lot longer, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Joshua's he's only had 20 fights, so yeah, David Haye's. But the thing is, people actually like Joshua. I don't think people really like David Haye anymore. It's conned us out of too much money. Sold us too much shite.
So,
and, look how many fights he's pulled out of. Fuck me.
Yeah.
I mean?
But that's what
I can't keep it off top of my head, man. Fury twice, Manuel Char, Bellew. Yeah, it's been a few.
Klitschko, both Klitschko's.
Yeah.
Both Klitschko's.
Yeah, because
he pulled out the Manuel Char fight to fight Fury, and he pulled out that fight as well. The God's clown.
I was speaking to Peter Fury on Skype, and he told me that when David Haye pulled out of the first fight, it cost Tyson Fury nearly 200 grand. I think it's about 170 odd grand. I think it was. It was a long time ago. In training and sparring and the camp, 170 grand it cost him because David Haye pulled out. That's why he said he'd never fight David Haye again, because I couldn't give a fuck about David Haye. I'll never fight the guy again.
It's interesting it's interesting because David Haye, like you said, he's pulled those type of affairs before. Let's not forget again the non-performance he gave against Vladimir Klitschko, which he then later on went to blame on a pinky toe. But I mean, against Vladimir Klitschko, I can't really blame him. I mean, that was a prime Vladimir Klitschko. There's very few people out there that had the tools to beat him, and David Haye certainly didn't know how to get inside that range. But everything else you guys are saying, you know, the pulling out of fights, being inactive, trying to be a superstar. Like, listen, if he wants to be a movie superstar, a film star, that's fine. But boxing takes, and he knows this because he's a professional boxer. It takes incredible amount of dedication, and he just didn't seem to have that. And it's unfortunate that now that he's close to 40, all of a sudden he wants to make the best of it. But I mean, is it a little too late? Too little.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with the guy, he keeps telling us that he wants to be the unified heavyweight champion of the world. He wants all the big fights. Yeah, he'll retire, come back and fight. Well, Chisora, Tony Bellew. You know, these are not fights that are going to take you to the top in any division. So why is he? You know, if this guy wants, he keeps saying he's going to come back and he's going to, you know, he's going to fucking dominate the heavyweight division, but he goes after Derek Chisora and then he goes after Tony Bellew, not even a heavyweight. The guy was a cruiserweight. He was a light heavyweight a few years ago. Let's be real. Do you know what I mean? So David Haye's he's wasted 3 or 4 of his years fighting fucking nobodies. And even when he was in his prime, he fought Monty Barrett, John Ruiz, the Valiev, the poorest heavyweight I've seen since, oh, fuck me, as long as I can remember. Actually, the archives are going to have to remind me of that one because that's how long I'm going back. Fucking terrible champion, Valiev. Fought him. He's you know, he fought Klitschko, got dominated every round, every second of every round. Yeah, that's his resume at heavyweight is pretty poor, to be honest with you. He's got one good fighter on there, and he got dominated every second of the fight.
He's not beat a top heavyweight. Like, let's be honest, his best win at heavyweight is what? It's got to be. I mean, yeah, in terms of name, it's value, but it's got to be like. That's hard, man. I mean, Chisora maybe. I mean, come on.
And it's interesting. That's a very good question. What was his biggest win? I'm tempted to say John Ruiz. Literally, his biggest win was against Nikolai Valiev because the guy was a fucking giant. But in terms of quality, if you say John Ruiz, you got to remember that fight was 8 years ago. It took place 8 years ago.
He got beat by Roy Jones Jr. 8 years before that.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I mean, David Haye, at least he took him out. I'll give him credit for that. I'm not gonna besmirch the guy completely, but think about it. 8 years ago.
Ruiz was an elite heavyweight. Ruiz wasn't an elite heavyweight. He never was. That's why Roy Jones fought him. You know, a small heavyweight who held a title, probably, you know, one of the worst champions at heavyweight for a long time. Funny enough, Haye's, you know, the two guys, the two, in terms of name and recognition at heavyweight, the two guys that Haye's beat, in terms of had a world title at heavyweight, have been two horrific world champions at heavyweight. No disrespect to them, but they were never elite heavyweights. I mean, you know, Valiev lost to Shogayev. Shogayev was never an elite heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? So.
But I mean, I agree with what you're saying in terms of elite level. Yeah, he wasn't the best heavyweight, but he was a top 10 guy. You know, I mean, there's no that's high praise right there. If you're Roy Jones and going up to beat him. But now here's the thing. Boxing Batberg brings up a good point. He says he was a good cruiserweight and he should have stayed there. I hate to do this, you know, the what ifs, but in hindsight, should he have stayed down at cruiserweight?
Yeah, he should have.
In terms
he should have, because sorry,
bro.
If you're gonna go to heavyweight, then surely if you're a fighter and you've got his ability, you want to be the best. You want to be the champion. You want to fight the best. But this guy's never really chased the best. Even when he was cruiserweight, I mean, John Mormont was a decent win. Don't get me wrong, but after that, you're struggling for names. Enzo Macronelli, is that a great win? Not really. You know, he didn't really do much at cruiserweight. I keep hearing he's one of the best cruiserweights of all time, but that just shows you how bad the cruiserweight division's been in the last few years. Well, I think it's one of the best divisions now, but back then,
I think Haye would have had real trouble with Steve Cunningham at the time if he fought him. I'll be honest. That's the fight that didn't happen at cruiserweight. Cunningham.
David Haye would kill Steve Cunningham.
You think?
What about?
I know. Steve Cunningham, he's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong, but he's nothing special. David Haye at cruiserweight was a very, very good fighter, explosive. He knocks heavyweights out. Look, I mean, he rocked Valiev to his boots, and that guy's like 25 stone, man. Do you know what I mean? So he can definitely punch. If he hit Cunningham on the jaw, then it's over. Because I'll tell you what, Cunningham hits a lot harder than David Haye hits a lot harder than Tyson Fury does. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
What about Haye? Because okay, first of all, the Mormick win, was that Boxing Battenberg is bringing that up? I mean, that was a good win, right? Mormick had beaten what's his name, the Galaxy Warrior.
Mormick was a good win, and you know I'm not going to knock him for that win, and it was in Paris as well, so it was a very good win. He came off the canvas to get that win. I think he was dropped. Yeah, so that's probably his best win. But after that, you know, Enzo Macquinelli. Right. You know, who else is there really?
Well, I mean,
I brought that up on Twitter. It was I can't remember what it was. It was a certain anniversary of that fight on Twitter a few months ago, and I put it on Twitter and I tagged him in it. And Enzo Macquinelli went, "Cheers for reminding me about that, mate." It's quite funny. you got blown out of there.
But I mean, Haye at cruiserweight was a dangerous guy. Hand speed, incredible power. I mean, even at heavyweight, he was dropping guys with his hand speed. At cruiserweight, he should have stayed there. Of course, he went chasing the big bucks over at the heavyweight division. Now, here's a question for you guys. Hypothetical. Who would have won between him and Thomas Adamek?
We're talking prime, yeah?
Yeah, prime for prime. Like, let's say Haye would have stayed there in 2008 instead of going up to heavyweight.
I think David Haye outboxes him.
I think Haye KOs him, to be honest. I think Haye KOs him mid-rounds.
You know, Adamek wasn't a bad fighter. He had balls. He fought Vitaly Klitschko, for Pete's sakes. I mean, and he outboxed Chris Arreola, so he did have, you know, especially at cruiserweight, where he dropped Cunningham, what was it, like 3 times in that fight?
He was a lineal light heavyweight champion as well.
Right. Then again, he should have lost.
He's still fighting now, man.
Yeah, that's a shame right there. But by the way, he should have got he should have got lost though against Cunningham the second fight. But
yeah.
So I can see Stu's point of Haye outpointing Adamek. Then again, Haye he's never been the most technical fighter out there. He never had the most solid whiskers either. And Adamek at cruiserweight, he could fucking bang. By the way, before we continue, we got Greg on the line. Greg, are you there? Greggy boy, are you there? All right. Now, Greg,
he's trying to talk. He's trying to talk. He's unmuting, but you obviously can't hear him.
Oh, he's on mute. Yeah, you got to unmute your mic there, Greg.
No, actually, he's unmuted it. He's not unmuting it, but obviously you can't hear him. So he's trying to talk. I can tell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Drop on and drop off, mate.
I don't know. Listen, Greg, sort your audio issues out. Maybe get out and then come back in. Maybe that'll fix the issue. But other than that, I mean, let's see what people in the chat room are saying. Falpo says outboxes Adamek. No. Okay, so he disagrees. Falpo says knockout Adamek. The dude's nickname is Granite Chin. That's true. The guy had a good chin, but he could be outboxed. We're not talking about being knocked out. We're talking about whether Haye could have outboxed him. Zapata boxing shot. Zapata says, "What up, my fellow boxing heads?" Boxing Bidenberg says they could both hit hard and would have been. Actually, that's true, man. I mean, it's not out of the question that Haye could have knocked the guy out. Like I said, Haye had bone-crushing power, stunning power.
I wouldn't mind seeing Haye, prime Haye in his cruiserweight division. Against Gassiev and all that lot.
Gee, yeah, that would have been oof. Him and Gass.
Haye, prime Haye versus prime cruiserweight Holyfield.
Oh man.
Holyfield beats him. Beats him. That's an all-time great right there.
I'm picking Holyfield in that one.
And by the way, it's an interesting little segue here. I was reading a post somebody made. I think it was on Sherdog, the boxing section of Sherdog, and there was a guy who said he used to be a sparring partner for heavyweights back in the early to mid 90s, and he said he sparred a lot of the big names. He sparred Tua, he sparred Holyfield, he sparred George Foreman, who else did he spar? Riddick Bowe, and he said that the guy who hit the fucking hardest was David Tua, but he said that the guy with the overall best skill set was Evander Holyfield. He said, I could tell Holyfield that if he wanted to, he could just pop me and drop me at any time. He actually, I think he did drop him, and that the guy was swift on his toes. I mean, really. Oh, by the way, thank you, Recognize, for the donation. Recognize
what happened to the alert, man? God damn it.
I don't know, it's on. But at least we can see it. Says, I hope Bellew retires Genuine's brother.
$20, man.
Huh?
Fair play. $20 he done him.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Recognize. I mean, that's a huge
Nice contribution.
Nice contribution right there. Everybody else, don't be shy.
All we need now, is $480 more, and we can get ourselves a $500 mic, just like.
I wish I was.
Oh, there we go.
I think you got
That's a great song, man. That's a great song. One of my favourites.
All right, Butcher. That song is not gonna.
Rocky 4's got a really good soundtrack, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of them have, man.
That's Rocky 3, no? Oh no, that's Rocky 4. Yeah, sorry.
That's one of my favourite ones, man.
It's a little bit.
On my
Rocky 4's my favourite. Rocky 4's my favourite one out of the lot.
Right.
It's on my playlist, that song, man. Listen to it most days, man.
Okay, so we were talking about fucking Evander Holyfield popping this sparring partner who's so that's what I'm saying. When you talk about Evander Holyfield against David Haye, man, David Haye just. I mean, I don't know if too precise. Holyfield too precise. I don't see him beating. I don't see Haye beating him.
Too busy.
Right.
Too busy as well.
By the way, if anybody, I see that Graphic Prod has his fucking caps on. I gotta tell you, we got a filter on now, and if you get too many caps on, the filter's gonna kick in and it's gonna kick you out of the, or put you on timeout. So don't do anything that the filter is gonna deem spamming. There you go. And please don't just start repeating the same old fucking shit, Graphic. Every time you come in here, it's the same thing. Linares sucks. Lomachenko sucks. What's his name? Gassif. We got a new subscriber, Frank Serrato. Shout out to Frank. If you kick me out, he says, you're a racist. Well, guess what? Well, hold on.
I think he's a troll, man.
He says, if you kick me out, you're a racist. Guess what? I'm going to put you on timeout just to prove your point. No, I'm kidding. Not going to put you. I will put you on timeout, though, if you start disrupting the fucking chat. I mean, we got to get some order here. Come on. You know that, Graphic. Don't start acting like an asshole. Ooh, I see we got Greg back on the line. Greg, are you there? Greg.
Hello, sorry.
Oh, you're there. I was going to play the sound effect here then.
I don't know what happened there. I'm really sorry about that.
Greg, you sound like you got a £500 microphone, man. Where are you at?
Mate, I got it on a 50% off. It's pretty slick, isn't it? I know we don't like slick in this channel, but...
Is it a $500 microphone or...?
Well, it's probably like $250.
Just asking.
What's the pound at now? Like £25 microphone.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's pounds.
Anyway, sorry, I've missed the last like 20 minutes of the conversation. I don't know where
we're at,
so I'm going to be quiet for a bit while I catch up with you.
Well, we're talking fucking David Haye and how we're actually excited a little bit. Oh, actually, we didn't get Stu. Are you looking forward to the fight now that it's close, or are you indifferent about it?
I've not really watched much of the build up to this one, to be honest with you, because the first one wasn't even before the fight. The first one, it wasn't a great fight on paper, was it? Let's be real. Yeah. I think it was just the beef between the two of them and the press conferences that made it interesting, if you know what I mean. And I don't feel the need for this second fight. I mean, for me, it's just David Haye getting another payday before he, sails off into the sunset. That's the way I look at it, really. And I'm still debating whether to buy it or not. I mean, I usually buy the boxing. I'd have bought it already. Save myself a $5, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might free stream it. I'm not sure.
I'm not buying it.
So, but you're still going to watch it, if you know what I mean.
I'll free stream it if I have to, but I don't like watching boxing on free streams. But there has to be a limit. Eddie Hearn's giving us a fucking box office every 2 weeks. I mean, I was a bit angry with Anthony Joshua's performance. That card was sucks.
Oh,
That was
wow.
that was £20. So another £20 to watch another average card. I mean,
You know
look what the co-main event is. It's fucking
Joe Joyce, isn't it?
Joe Joyce. Do you know what I mean? A 3-fight novice.
I missed the days when Eddie Hearn first came to the game and we had Froch Boutte on Free Sky.
Yeah. Do you remember when Eddie Hearn said, "Oh, we're only going to have 2 box offices a year. Don't worry, we're going to have 2 just for the big major fight." Before you know it, Cleverly Bellew fucking pay-per-view.
Oh man, it's the worst pay-per-view I've ever bought.
Yeah, me too. I said to Tony Bellew, "I hope you got your kids some sweets with that £20 you robbed off me, you wanker."
Yeah,
I literally felt like that's the only night where I've literally watched a pay-per-view unboxing. I thought I've really fucking felt it.
What about the end of that? Yeah. What about the end of that fight when Cleverly goes, "Who wants to see it again?" And you can hear Cotton Walling.
Yeah.
By the way, we have audio of Stu on the line with his cable company asking for a refund after every fucking awful pay-per-view he's ever seen.
Do you think I'm gonna have that? Do you really think I'm gonna have that, you ponce?
I don't know why you talk to those people. It's not their fault, man. They don't come up with the product, Stu. Come on, jeez.
I like I said, you can't blame Sky. You have to blame Eddie Hearn for putting the shit fest on and blame himself for buying it.
The undercard was shit as well, man. You had James DeGale, George Groves against absolute shite. It was horrible.
What Eddie Hearn does, he'll get 5 decent names, put it on the card, but put bums in there with them. So you get 5 mismatches. I'd rather just have 2 fucking 50-50 fights. Do you know what I mean? Than 5 mismatches. Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to build tomorrow's undercard as decent. I mean, they're building Leroy Thomas as good because he beat Dave Allen, who's literally done nothing in his career. That Joe Joyce is going to beat him all around the ring. You've got Martin Ward against James Tennyson. Who really cares about that fight? And you've got Paul Butler, who missed weight by £3 today, fighting Emmanuel Rodriguez for the IBF title. So
that's not a bad fight, but Martin J. Ward is. I've never got through a whole fight of Martin J. Ward. I just can't watch the guy. He's fucking boring to watch.
Yeah, man, me too.
I can't watch the guy, man. Fucking boring. Never. Like I said, I have to be fair. I mean, I know he's a Brit, but he's fucking boring. He's like watching Riggindale for me. Just boring. I just no intentions of watching the guy.
Hey, by the way,
I'll tell you what, you want to look forward to this card because when Fury boxes, he still hasn't got an opponent.
Oh man,
Frank Warren's going to put on a shit fest. You could take that to the fucking bank.
Fury's already had 3 press conferences to announce his return, and he's still not had an opponent.
Fucking stupid that.
Well, I mean, come on, how many? You just want one? He's a big dude. He needs 3 press conferences to cover the whole fucking corpus.
So he's just by himself? We're talking about what?
Have you noticed? Have you noticed with Frank Warren? Right, he'll arrange a presser, and he'll arrange a fucking an event, and he'll have headline names like he'll have say fucking Frampton v someone else. No, Frampton, say Selby or Warrington or something like that, just as an example. But yet they'll have no opponent. So the poster's got 3 names on it. They need 6 names, surely. You know, these guys fighting, they're not even on the posters. So he's arranging cards before he's even got opponents sorted out. And fucking hell, this is why you're getting these shit fests.
That's why they fall through as well, man. That's why he pulls the cards all the time. He wonders why he can't sell out, cards, because he announces all these cards and everything, expects people to buy them, not knowing who the fuck the opponents are.
This is the problem, Cameron, with him. You know, you can't. Well, it could be anybody he's fighting. I want to see Tyson Fury's comeback, but I'm not going to be too bothered if it's some fucking bum. I'm not gonna fucking worry about missing that if it's some bum.
No, me neither.
The problem is,
sorry, bro.
The problem is when I look on Twitter and when that fight was first announced, the Tyson Fury fight, you've got these people on Twitter responding, going, "Don't worry about it. I've got to sell some ringside seats, 450 quid. Don't worry about it." You know what I mean? And it's like, what a fucking rip-off that is. You don't even know who the opponent is. Yeah. And it sounds like it's going to be that Sefir Serifai or whatever it is. Exactly. The cruiserweight that's pumped up, and it's like, what the fuck is that?
I mean, I don't blame Fury having a soft touch in his first fight, but don't expect me to by watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I said, that's where Frank Warren goes wrong. You've got to, if you want to sell a product, there's got to be, you've got to have opponents. Surely, that's like saying, "Oh, I'm going to go and watch. I'm going to go watch the Washington Redskins v nobody." You know, you know, you need an opponent to make the show, and this is the problem. He's waiting like 2 or 3 weeks before the fucking event starts to get these opponents in, so they've got like no camps, out of shape. Fucking, and then you get another cancellation. Before you know it, some guy's walking in the ring. He's like 10 and 28.
Yeah.
And by the way, what's his name? The Dubois, the new guy that everybody's looking forward to. Isn't he fighting tomorrow as well?
The pants sniffer.
He's just had a fight announced today. Tom Little, the English title.
Errol Jarrett. I listened to a little bit of that Beats Hangout the other day. I only listened to a few minutes of it. Errol Jarrett was fucking doing me head in, so I turned off. He was going, Daniel Dubois would beat the shit out of Tyson Fury. I was like,
I've got friends that tell me, "Oh, Daniel Dubois is the next big thing." It's like, how many fights has he had?
He's just got a right hand, man. He's just got a right hand. He's getting tagged.
Yeah, he's just a big lad.
He's a teenage Lucas Brown.
He's literally got one right hand, and he's been getting tagged by nobodies already.
Put him against David Price. I want to see that shit.
Price
that'll be pay-per-views, though.
Price would sleep him, mate. I'm telling you.
I reckon Price would beat him as well.
Yeah, he's not ready for Price. Nowhere near ready for Price.
Hey, I read somewhere that David Price wants to keep on fighting.
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, you can't blame him. I mean, after the way, obviously he saw how he performed. He felt like he was doing well in the fight. He obviously feels like he's got something up. And I don't mind seeing him fight as long as it's a certain level. Because otherwise, I mean, he's going to get ironed out again anyway. But as long as he's fighting at a certain level, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight someone at British level. To be honest,
I don't think that's what he wants, though. I mean, I think he wants to fight like elite fighters, though. No?
Yeah, European title he wants.
Hey, what was
the same as David Haye? He just wants another payday, doesn't he?
You know what, man? Haye talks all this. Haye's been talking about he wants to win these world titles and all that. He talks about wanting Joshua. If he beats Bellew, he'll fight Joshua and get out of the sport.
Haye's going to fold against Bellew, yeah. And all Haye is now is a promoter, and he's just getting a bit of extra money to pay off his fucking tax bill. That's all he's doing.
I think Bellew's going to win.
He's been a fool for 6 or 7 years. Pisses me off how much he cons the British public. And I talk to all my friends around me and that, and they all talk shit saying, "Is Haye in his prime yet?" All that shit. Nonsense.
I'll tell you what, though, I wouldn't mind seeing Tony Bellew spark out on the canvas, to be honest with you. He's starting to rub me up the wrong way. I've had enough of
they're both idiots.
The guy.
But if I had to choose one, I want Tony Bellew to win.
The guy's still in Ricky Conlan mode, isn't he? He thinks he actually pound for pound number one, doesn't he?
I usually used to like Bellew. Like before, when he beat McAboo, I was really happy for him. But once he got the Haye fight and he beat Haye, and he all of a sudden with Haye, he had this massive ego. He started, being contradicting all the time, being hypocritical, and now I don't really care, man. If he gets knocked out tomorrow, I don't really care.
He's the only man that I've seen go in a way up, go to push a man, and then do a frog leap away.
He's always pushing people. He's always pushing people in every presser he's been at. He's pushed somebody. That's what he does, man. He's a gobshite, really, isn't he? Let's be real.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm disappointed that Haye hasn't glassed somebody since he did it to Chisora. I think it's about time that he glassed somebody. Don't you guys think?
Fucking hell. I'll tell you what, I like Chisora, man. I got a lot of time for him after seeing him on top of that London bus yelling at a woman.
What?
Have you not seen that? Sky Sports thought in their ultimate guidance, they thought they'll get all these Sky promoters on top of a bus. They'll drive around London promoting the Haye Bellew fight. And all it is Derek Chisora with a megaphone yelling at women on the street.
Oh, man, that's awful for...
That's what I do all the time, man.
Except you don't have any clothes on. That's the main difference right there. But how did Sky...
Chisora, I think he's a bit deluded of the value that he's worth. I think he thinks he's a lot better than he is, and he's worth a lot more money.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like a 60-year-old hooker still wanting the same money as a 20-year-old hooker. It just don't work like that, does it?
Get him a $500 mic, and maybe he can become a star.
Yeah, why not? And by the way, how did Sky Sports allow that to happen? This every time somebody says a potty word or like a bad word, they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Everybody out there within the...
It's pathetic. Just like to apologise about the language you might just have heard. I know it's 2 o'clock in the morning and we're watching people bash each other's brains in. But we don't want to offend you with a swear word. Fuck,
That's
insane.
I mean, if you're all right watching people, you know, beat each other up, you know, caving their faces in, but you get offended over a fucking swear word, man. Come on, man.
Sky is really, it's so political correct. It's actually cringe.
In a corner, man, like you hear some trainer saying, "Wake the fuck up," sort of thing, and Adam Smith like, "We do apologise about that."
They have to apologize.
They've got patronising Adam Smith telling you about the language. It's like a paedophile telling you off, isn't it?
That makes no goddamn fucking sense. I don't know why. This is supposed to be a family show, by the way.
Everyone calls Adam Smith that. It's fucking hilarious. Like, it's on Twitter all the time. It will say something, and you'll see people on Twitter saying someone needs to check his fucking hard drive and shit.
Jesus.
On Twitter every time in a fight night.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a Joseph Fritzl basement, mate.
Oh, that guy again. We gotta put up a picture of that guy again. What was his name? Joseph Fritzl?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he came out of a movie. Like the guy, man. Like there's no fucking way he's not. If you look at him, if you didn't know who he was, and you look at him, is the word "nice guy" really gonna come to your head? Look, listen, I'll put the picture up here. There you have it. Look at that. Even his eyebrows are arched up. That's an evil man.
You know his
right there.
grandfather was a Nazi. You know it was. You know his grandfather was a Nazi. Probably killed 100 Jews by himself. Do you know what I mean?
Now,
he's just got that look about him, isn't he?
Yeah, that's he has that look like he like his grandfather was maybe at worst or at best I should say he was a Nazi sympathizer. But
look at the picture next to that one, man.
What's that? I think that's photoshopped.
We're very smiling, man.
Yeah, I think that's photoshopped. I think that's.
Well,
but by the way,
yeah. I mean, if I walked down, if I saw him down a dark alley, I'd say, yeah.
Here's my question: do you think because people like him, you know, old guys, a lot of confidence with that mustache, do you think he at least knows how to eat pussy? That's why he was able to attract girls and all that.
I mean, look at that hairstyle.
Fritzl.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the reason, man.
Was he on top of a bus?
Was he friends with Derek Chisora?
He looks like the sort of guy that fucking plays the game, you know, in the movie Saw. He'd actually play that in real life with somebody. He would. He looks that sort of guy. He's got dungeons below his house and that lot. Has all traps and fucking. He's just a weirdo, isn't he?
Who goes into his house?
Pavel.
Foul Boxing in the chat says that's how I imagine BDA looks like.
It's not too well. First of all, hold on a second. Give me a couple of years at least. A couple of years before I look like. I don't look like that now. I look like a younger version.
But I was thinking BDA looks more like the machete. You know, the man in the machete. The Mexican.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah, some bruising Mexican-looking guy.
Yeah, people have told me that I look like a. People have told me that I look like a young Wesley Snipes.
BDA, I like BDA, man. To be honest, I actually have thought, you know, man, trying to think about what you do look like, man. Like, you know, when you listen to someone's voice and you try to picture what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about it, man.
I thought he sounded just like Klitschko when I first heard him.
Yeah, same here, man.
I thought it was Vladimir's secret YouTube channel that he didn't want people
I thought that.
hearing into. And then when I watched his boxing takes on the videos, I thought this guy knows what he's on about. So,
all right,
maybe
first of all,
Vladimir.
Sorry to interrupt.
I watched that Garcia. I watched your Mikey Garcia film study earlier on BDA. I thought, yeah, that was a really good one, man.
Yeah, first of all, sorry to interrupt this, but I just have to say I put Graphic Prod on timeout because he's spoiling now movies that just came out a week. So this guy is obviously a troll, and he's not even a good one. Like, listen, Graphic, if you're still listening, if you want to be a good troll, you gotta step it up, and we'll keep you in the chat. But if you're just spamming and just, it's not even funny, you know, spoiling movies for people.
I think I know who that. I think I know who Graphic is.
Yeah, he sounds like a guy that usually never shut up, you know, that was just talking on stuff.
One of his alter egos.
Butcher, do you think it is who I think you think who it is?
It is. But I think he's one of his alter egos. You know, that guy's fucking psychotic, man. He has like 5 different personalities.
What a bit.
It's one of those, yeah.
Whether it's him...
Man, all these trolls in the chat.
I gotta say
do you
this.
think so?
I gotta say,
man.
Whether it's him or whether it's...
You gotta be a sad piece.
Yeah,
You gotta be a sad piece of shit to create 5 different
You know there's alter egos hanging around this fucking chat and that.
Well, that's exactly what Stu said. I was gonna say, look, listen, yeah, a little bit of trolling every once in a while, that's fine. You know, I troll people all the time, every now and then in the show. You know, I troll people with the fucking soundboard and all that, but it's gotta be funny. If it's not, it's just annoying. And like Stu said, 5 accounts. I mean, come on, man. I mean,
fucking idiot, fucking idiot, fucking idiot, fucking.
I am a victim of masculinity.
All right, that's enough. Listen, I just trolled people right there. But yeah, listen, if he comes back, I'll give him one last chance. Otherwise, I got no time to be wasting. Now I'm starting to enjoy kicking people out of the chat room. I'll just put it that way. So, you know, if we're here to have fun, we're here to be entertained.
You have to question these people's mentality. Whatever makes them want to go onto a boxing channel and just talk utter garbage, childish garbage, and think it's funny. I mean, something's not clicking in their brain to think that's funny. Do you know what I mean? It's not funny.
On a Friday night as well, man. They're definitely virgins.
Well, wait a minute. What are we doing here then? We're not all that different.
Nah, man. At least we're talking. Yeah, I mean, on a good night talking boxing, man. I mean, I got a bit of action last night. I'm saying.
Oh, you did.
I'm having some action as we speak here.
Oh.
I'm
joking.
Are you fucking a robot, Pucho? Like we were talking about?
Yeah, man. No, I was on the beach, man. You know, nobody was around. It's pretty good, man.
You want to see the beaches in England, BDA, mate?
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna ask.
What type of beach are you talking about, man?
Fucking spare tires and all the beats.
Oh, nice. Yeah, sorry, Cameron, go ahead. Cameron, go ahead.
I didn't hear what you said, man.
Stu, I think Cameron wants to. He said you were going to say something.
No, I was just you go down where I thought you might have gone down. The old fucking poo shooter. You didn't go down there, did you?
Not with this girl, mate. I haven't gone down there. I don't plan to either.
I was gonna ask, did you throw sand at her asshole like Jack Nicholson in The Departed? You know, he throws coke on the girl's face. Paf! I thought maybe you did the same thing with her ass. But
nah, man, it was a stony beach, man. So we had it wasn't great.
And by the way, just getting back, all right. So you fucked on the beach, but then Greg makes a good point of beaches in England. I mean, that must have been a bizarre sight or an unusual setting for you to be enjoying or doing the little monkey dance, right?
Well, I didn't fuck her, man. We just had a bit of fun, you know what I mean?
I thought you said you okay. Well, the story just got less entertaining, as did my boner. Just got a little bit smaller as well. But look, listen, bringing it all back to boxing, because we were talking about Dubois. We all agree that he still needs some seasoning. That being said, I just remembered that Precise Puncher had made a video, I think about 2 months ago, about Joey Joyce and how this guy, he's 6'6", but he's got a little bit of Tyson Fury in him with his footwork and the way he creates angles. I mean, are you guys familiar with Joey Joyce, and what have you heard about him over there in England?
I think both fighters need a slap around the face because they've got no energy in themselves. You look at Daniel Dubois, and he's like a big heavy retard. You look at Joe Joyce and he's like an old heavy retard. And neither one of them have got like, they ain't got the jab and get in and work people out about them. They just look like they're turning up for work. They're fucking useless, both of them.
And
to be fair to Joe Joyce, he was robbed. To be fair to Joe Joyce, he was robbed of an Olympic gold medal. So you're not a bum. But then again, you're not a bum if you win Olympic gold medals. Not.
You are a bum if you win an Olympic gold medal, because look at Joshua. He got gifted his gold medal.
Yeah, but Joshua's not a bum, is he? Let's be real.
Nah, that's true. That is true. Can't argue that.
And by the way,
he's not a legend yet, or maybe never will be.
No heavyweight.
Pretending he's good. No one's pretending he's going to be a legend, but let's not.
Well, the British media was
certainly
the British media portrays Joshua. The British media.
All the British media are fucking clueless.
They are. They're pathetic. They're pathetic.
You're fucking clowns going around the fights, pretend they know what they're on about, writing stories about Joshua because it's the only thing that will get people reading their fucking outlets about boxing. They don't know anything else apart from Joshua, man.
Who's that, Cameron? Who's that Gareth bloke with the long curly hair?
Well, Gareth
What's his name?
Gareth A. Davis. Gareth A. Davis.
Gareth Davis. God. Yeah.
Is he popular in the UK or something?
I can't listen.
He's another one. He's probably with Adam Smith in the fucking basement, isn't he?
Well, he's really an MMA journalist, but he's just patronising. He's one of them toffee-nosed snobs from upper class England, patronising, and I just don't like listening to him.
Yeah, he looks
and
weird.
He thinks
also.
he knows fucking everything about everything.
Are you talking about the guy with the long hair?
Man.
I just don't like the guy.
Are you talking about the guy with the long hair?
He does.
Sorry, but are you talking about
Ray Henry, isn't he?
Are you talking about? Is that the guy with the long hair, Gareth Davis?
Yeah, man.
Long curly hair. That's the one.
But look at him. There's a picture of him in front of all the books he's read, and just a couple of them. But that means he must be pretty smart, right?
Oh my god.
Pretty smart. I mean,
he probably is smart. But
I was kidding, by the way.
Yeah, look
at that gaze.
I enjoy listening.
All right, sorry. One at a time. Stu, go ahead.
I was just saying he probably is smart, but it don't mean I like listening to the guy.
But what give us an example. What is something that he says that pisses you off, or in general? What is his attitude like, or whatever, that you dislike?
It's probably easier for me to tell you the things he doesn't say that pisses me off. It'd probably be a bit quicker.
I see. It's like that, huh? It's like that. In other words, he's pissing people off 24/7. I mean,
somebody uploads a video of him. I don't even have to click on it and watch it. Just seeing the fucking thumbnail pisses me off.
Oh, now that is harsh, Cameron. That is harsh.
Listen, man, the guy started. I wrote something on Twitter once about boxing. About a story I put out, and I did quite well with retweets and that. The fucking guy commented it, man. I was thinking, you're a fucking clown, man. Like, you don't know the fighter I'm fucking writing about. You don't know anything about him, man. This fucking clown. Obviously he's one of those fucking paid journalists with fucking Telegraph, and he doesn't, he thinks that, another one of those fucking clowns who thinks if you're not getting, if you're not on a fucking wage and shit, and you're basically a fucking levels below the guys, like him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking clown. Simple as that.
Did you ever talk to him or something? Did you ever have an interaction that turned you off away from the guy?
Yeah, on Twitter, man. It was about 2 years ago when I was starting doing it. Since then, I've just never liked the guy. I just think his whole attitude, boxing, and the way he thinks like the media should be ran is just not right.
Well, that's interesting. And
Fearon's another one. Spencer Fearon, he's another one. Can't be done. He fucking rubs me up the long way as well. Can't be done with him. It's like
he gets paid. He's told what to say, man. He gets paid to say this crap.
And by the way,
the knowledge. He calls himself the knowledge, but he don't fuck all. So I don't know how he works that one out.
All right, anybody that calls himself the knowledge deserves to be exiled in an island somewhere. And by the way, We got Apology Man on the line. Apology, are you there? Apology, are you there? The last comment he left
I'm
on
here. I'm here.
the last comment he left on the chat room says, "I hate technology sometimes." I think he's trying to tell us that his connection or his computer is fucking up. But anyway,
Yeah, bro.
So by the way,
Is my signal cut? Is my signal cut?
A little bit,
a tiny bit,
tiny
But
little bit.
It's better than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than it used to be, man.
Yeah, because
It's like you have a PlayStation now.
Tonight's a bit.
What was that?
Huh?
I don't know. We're all confused today.
We should have a BDA sleepover at mine. My name. I'm flatmates with Adam Smith.
Who's Adam
Oh,
Smith?
do you know, man? I can pass on that, man.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that the okay? No. I used to be roommates with that. What's his name? Was that?
Sorry, I'm just laughing at my own joke.
I couldn't even hear your joke, man. You gotta repeat it. Well, do you want to repeat it, or is it overkill if you repeat it?
It sounds like he's in the basement. He's kind of got that echo in it. It sounds like Greg's in the basement sort of thing. So.
Well, speaking of basements, I used to be roommates with Joseph Fritzl before he. Oh, what? All right, now we got two apologies. We got two apologies.
We got two apologies. What's going on, man?
Apology, are you there?
He's cloning himself.
Two guys
as well.
Hello?
He's self-replicating. Yeah, okay, apology. Do us a favor. Count from 1 to 10 to test your connection, all right? And your sound.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's you gotta increase the volume or get closer to the mic because we can barely hear you, man.
Hold on a second.
We want to hear that deep booming voice of yours to its full effect. Come on. I mean, I'm not gonna settle for anything more. I'm not gonna settle for like a fucking little small voice there. You know what I mean?
I can't have it. I can't have it. You know, I can't do it, Henry. You know, I can't do it.
All right, come on. Apology. Anyway, okay. Apology. We'll get back to you in a couple of seconds. But like I was gonna say about Joey Joyce. I love saying the name, by the way. Joey Joyce. He's 32. I thought he was in his early 20s or something. The guy's 32 already.
No, he's been around for a long time. He's been around for a long time. He did the World Series, World Boxing Series before he did the Olympics, man. He fought Usyk.
I mean, I tell you, he's got to do something now.
He started late.
No shit.
He started in his early 20s.
Ah, okay. So he didn't even pick up boxing until he's.
That Olympic Games was one too many for him, I think. That Rio Olympic Games. I think he should have gone pro at 2012 after London.
Yeah,
I don't think he's done them once, did he? He didn't do the 2012, did he?
No, but he should have turned pro when he didn't make it to the the Olympics.
He would have been in it with Joshua, wouldn't he? Joshua was the leading heavyweight.
Because he was. I think he was. Yeah, I think he was fighting back then, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in the Europeans in 2012.
Well, he.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, but he should have turned pro then, really.
I'm looking
at. He won gold, man. He won gold at the Europeans.
That's what I'm looking at here. It says.
Mean fuck all, mate.
Look at what's going on. It says silver medal in the 2016 Olympics in Rio, bronze in the World Amateur Championships, not too shabby. Gold, like Cameron said, in the European Games in 2015. Commonwealth Games, gold as well, 2014. And he also medaled in bronze in the European Amateur Championships back in 2013. So he's done well for himself in the amateurs, but he doesn't have the luxury that Dubois has. He has no time. He has to step it up right now. Ricky Tiki. By the way, how old was Audley Harrison when he turned pro? Wasn't he already like in his 30s or something?
Yeah.
In his 50s,
yeah, he
was. I think you're exaggerating a little bit there, Greg. I think you are.
Let's get back. 50, though, let's be honest.
Yeah, he's stiff as fuck. He was.
He fights like a 50-year-old. I know that.
Oh yeah.
Fucking value looks fucking flexible, man.
You guys.
That's a pay-per-view fighter as well. 50-year-old man versus a busted ankle David Haye.
Oh man. Should have rematch now, man. Pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't try and sell it us.
All right, let's get back to Apology. Let's see if he's there. Apology, are you there? I think not. I think not. Pavel is
saying... You need to get yourself a £500 mic, then it'll be alright.
Right, right.
For everyone that's seen Avengers and Apology like this, Apology's vanished.
I don't get the reference.
No, man.
I don't get the reference. What does that mean? Anyway, look, listen.
You gotta watch the film. You gotta watch the film. Man.
I am not going to.
I didn't see the movie, but I feel these memes about vanishing stuff and people. That's all I know.
Let me tell you something.
All I know is Apology appreciate that.
Let me tell you something, man. I am not going to pay, and I know Butcher agrees with me on this one. I think he agrees with me. $12 here in Canada, or $14 if you're paying for fucking 3D. Plus popcorn, plus utilities. You're gonna get there, and you're gonna sit around a bunch of people you don't know. They could be serial killers. Anybody could shoot up the fucking cinema at the first sign that something goes wrong. You're wasting money there. It smells like nacho farts. No way. I prefer watching movies if I have to at home, and I don't even watch movies that much anymore.
Anybody can shoot the place up.
Anybody can do it, man. Some of the freaks, some of you motherfuckers in the chat room could do it. I know you're capable of it.
You're gonna pay for Haye, Bellew 2 as well.
No, man, I ain't paying for that shit, man.
Oh yeah, that's...
I'm surprised they haven't done that for Haye, Bellew 2.
I streamed the first one, man.
3D, 40 quid. Also, 1 year Sky membership, £180 a month.
Let me take that back. I didn't stream it.
You heard about it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Stood outside the TV shop.
I watched it, but I didn't pay for it. But I didn't stream it at the same time, so I worked that one out.
Like telepathically, like Xavier, like you.
I watched it live on the TV, but I didn't pay for it.
Ah, okay.
I also didn't stream it either.
By the way, first of all, before we continue, we gotta recognize the Matrix.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
All right. Recognize, thanks for being on the show, and thank you as well for that generous donation. That's going to go a long way. Oh yeah, thanks a lot. That's going to go a long way to getting us to the top. We are in need of expansion for the infrastructure that we got going here. The BDA headquarters does need a new broom closet, so that's going to help us out a lot there. Thank you. We're talking about, what are we talking about now? Fucking Avengers? No, movies and paying for pay-per-views.
We've got 3 apologies now.
Now, yeah, we got 3 apology. Are you there?
Fuck, how many apologies do we have?
All right.
More than one apologies.
Yeah, he's having trouble with his videos.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting scared, man.
It looks like there's...
Why is somebody wants to call in, man? It's fucking for us. Because apology needs fucking 3 spaces.
No, it's just an illusion. It's an illusion. It's... is he trying to talk? Apology, are you there?
Hello.
Apology, you sound like you're...
I hear... Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Apology. Talk, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count.
It's like he's buried underground. We can hear him from underground.
Yeah.
I think Apology's on the run, man.
You wouldn't survive. Apology, please count from 1 to 10 so we can evaluate the volume of your technology there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Did you increase the volume of your computer, your microphone, if you go to playback settings and recording devices, there should be a volume tab there somewhere there that allows you to.
Okay.
I think you have to do it BDA, like in control room.
I can't increase in Hangouts. You can't increase or decrease somebody's volume.
I kind of mind, man. I recognised it was too quiet when I was on with Vic, and I increased his volume.
How do you do that?
In the control room.
Oh. No, we can't because we're doing it differently, though. Yeah.
All right, fuck it then.
Apology. Whatever, man.
Apology. Do me a favor. Scream as if somebody's stabbing you in the gut. Can you do that? See how that sounds.
There you go. Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it.
Okay, I hear your voice, but it's a very faint voice, man. I mean, I don't know what's going on. It sounded better.
Anyways, whatever. I mean, we're wasting time here, man.
Yeah,
try to increase your volume, man.
Do something, all right? Please help us out here, man. People. I mean, I we like having you on the show, but we can't stop and do tests every 12 seconds to see if your thing is working.
Oh, new mic, man. That's a simple way.
You two just need to get ass fucked, is what.
All right, now hold on a second. Hold on a second. Jeez, Louise, we don't need to do anything. All right.
Wow.
Foulpole Boxing says, "Is he in BDA's cellar?" First of all, I don't have a cellar anymore. It's overflooded with bodies. All right, now.
Hey.
Let him out the book, man.
What the fuck was that?
That was Greg doing his De La Hoya impression.
Ah.
Greg's got apology locked up.
Mate.
All right.
Apology wishes.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a fun time there in your basement, Greg. You sounded like Oscar De La Hoya. But anyway, look, speaking of... okay, I wanted to ask Recognize. Recognize, are you looking forward to the David Haye versus Bellew rematch, or is that just something that no matter what happens, you don't care?
I don't care who wins that fight, but I would like to see, honestly, I would like somebody to put Haye to sleep. I don't think Bellew would do it, but it would be nice for him to stop him again. I don't care if he gets another leg injury. I'm tired of Haye.
It sounds to me like you're saying you wouldn't mind if he fell off the ring, out of the ring, and hurt his neck really badly. Is that what you're saying?
You're right. Like if he fell and slipped on water and he's like, oh, my leg, I can't continue, I'll be fine with that.
Sorry about that. Greg made a very generous donation of £2.
I've done that wrong.
What do you mean you did it
the
wrong?
rest of them out.
You gave more than you should have? Is that what you're saying?
No, if you look at the comment, I put 19.99.
Oh, okay. So
you should. That's I was like, what the fuck?
You know what you should do next time? If you're gonna make a donation on the super chat, give us a real tough message, something that's gonna blow our minds, something that's gonna shock us out of our conventions, and really.
He was selling himself for $19.99.
I used to pay for $19.99 when I was on the streets, man. I mean, under the bridges over in Montreal. Oof. Good times, man. You're not supposed to make out with the prostitutes, by the way. That's bad advice. You're going to get something. You're going to get little gifts the next day. Let's just put it that way. But thank you, Greg, for that donation there. All right, so Reverse, you were saying you're not looking forward to the fight. And that you wish that Haye would somehow injure himself.
I was saying that, yeah.
But I mean, listen, and this goes for everybody. When a fight happens, does there really need to be that much at stake? I mean, can't we all just look forward to something that might turn out to be a good fight? Does there have to be titles?
Piece of shit. You know, man.
Oh, we got apology back. Apology, we can hear you better now. Okay, give us your opinion on that. Let's test that audio.
On what?
On Haye versus Bellew. Does it have to be a good fight for people? I mean, does there have to be something at stake, like a title or a championship fight down the line, for a fight to be interesting? Or can we just enjoy two guys that hate each other, or that seem to hate each other, just getting a ring and try to bust each other's heads open?
I mean, a lot goes into a fight, but I think this fight in particular, I don't know, just two guys who are not like high on people's list. So I don't think people really care about them too much. David Haye is disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. And Bellew's just all talk, but nothing to show for it. So, but hopefully it's a good fight, but I don't know, just not excited.
So are you going to pay for the fight and watch it?
Hell no.
Oh, that's a great answer. All right, Greg donated £20. So I guess that's a total of a whopping £22. Greg, you don't know how much that helps us out, because compared to the Canadian dollar, the European, I mean, the pounds over there, that the British currency really gives us a nice boost. So thank you, Greg.
I think you lot should set up a Patreon or something, man, because I'd pay monthly to listen to this, honestly.
Well, first of all, that's very high praise right there. And second of all, Bucho, can you answer our question on regarding Patreon or Patreon, or I don't know how they call it?
Well, we have a Patreon, but we're just trying to figure out what type of what's awards we're gonna be giving out. So
yeah, because we want to give something out.
Yeah, it's like special content or something. So we're looking into that.
That's it. That's it. I thought you were gonna make it a little bit more dramatic, Bucho.
No, maybe more dramatic.
I don't know. A little pizzazz to it,
something.
you know, like
all right, guys, we have a Patreon.
Now's a good time to like let you two know that the work you're doing is like proper. You put in a lot of hours and work and that. Sometime, I mean, it was a few weeks ago where you was putting in a podcast every day and that. And
oh yeah, we did that.
It's much appreciated, man. It's much appreciated. So keep.
Yeah, we didn't really sleep that week, man, but it was worth it.
Oh yeah, it's enjoyable doing the show. It's
when
enjoyable.
I'm working and I'm listening to you guys, you know, some of the people be like, "What is that? What are you listening to?"
And what do you are you ashamed and do you make something up like, oh, I'm listening to like pro pedophile podcast or something? Is that what you say?
Tell them I'm in a top secret conversation. I can't tell you.
Hey, by the way, does anybody ever overhear you doing X and do they think you have a split personality or something?
Well, that was supposed to be a secret. Come on, I'm not X.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, I was kidding. Obviously, I was kidding.
But let's say if I did try to do X, I think I would get caught.
Ah, right.
I would be embarrassed.
Let me tell you something. That story about the ghosts in the fucking abandoned. Was it an abandoned loony house or was it a populated loony house? I forget.
No, it was a populated one. It's a famous one. It's called Bellevue. Bellevue.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a famous one right there. People wanted to send me over there.
Yeah.
The judge recommended it.
That's the worst one because that's like the city hospital, so criminals and everybody going there.
Mm.
Yeah. And so and they got some huge elevator shafts, right? Mm-hmm. So you can hear an echo all the time. If on certain floors you can hear people talk, and I'm telling you, when I first started working there, I would hear like that, and I'm like, oh,
jeez,
I want to get transferred quickly.
Yeah, man. Well, you're back in a loony house of a certain type right here, so you can't really fully escape it. I wanted to ask, Hakuna Matata says, is Graphic getting on Hangouts? I don't know. I doubt it. I'll tell you that much right now. Luke Peterson asks Precise Puncher, who's in the chat room, shout out to Precise, says, Precise, who is that old man on your pic? He looks like a character. He looks like a, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. Who is that?
Would surprise me if it's a philosopher or a famous writer.
Oh, that's that Jew, what's his name?
He looks familiar.
That's a science guy.
It's not Jacques Derrida, is it?
It's Einstein, isn't it?
No.
It's not Einstein.
No. It's Thingy. What's his name?
Use Google, man. Look him up on Google.
The old man, he was giving an advice to somebody on a Porsche. I forgot the movie, man.
What? The old man that was giving advice on the porch.
Yeah.
Talking about my grandfather.
That's all I remember. I think that's him. I just forgot the name of the movie.
Knowing Precise is going to keep us guessing. He's going to keep
us... I think that funds Black Lives Matter. What's his name?
FNC Bot says that he asked Precise, and Precise said that it was his grandpa's roommate. You know what I think Precise is doing? I think he's jerking us.
That's it.
Who is it?
It's called Grandpa's Roommate, the movie.
Oh. He actually meant grandpa.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think I'm being jerked around here.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, there's no such thing as you're fucking trolling me, man. Grandpa's room. Oh, that was a good one.
I know who it is. I just forgot the name. I'm going to Google it right now.
Nicholas says it's Precise without a mask on. Nah, Precise doesn't sound old, man. Nah, he's not going to tell us, I bet. He's going to make us look for it ourselves to try to show us how dumb we are that we don't know who it is. All right. Well, listen.
Sometimes you don't sound like you're kidding. You know, there's a lot of people around.
Yeah, he's making fun of us, but this is what he's gonna say.
I mean, I'm only kidding with you. We're having a party. I mean, I just came home. I haven't seen you in a long time, and I'm breaking your balls, and right away you're getting fucking fresh.
That's what he's gonna say. I want to know who that old man is, and I want to know right now. But anyway.
Now go get your shine box.
Yeah.
I know who he is. I just can't remember.
Was that apology?
I know who he is. I just can't remember.
Well, when you get around to it, you go ahead and tell us, all right? Because I'm too curious, man. I want to know who that guy is. Now it's in my head. Now I can't get it out of my fucking head. I need to know. Butcher, you know who it is?
No, man.
Please tell me you're looking it up.
Yeah, what am I gonna look up? Like fucking old man? What am I gonna fucking write?
Right, precise puncher, old man, and
think of that movie. I'm no help, but think of that movie where they give an old man some weed. They're a bunch of young kids, and the old man is walking around with a boner.
Wait, what?
Recognize what type of movies are you watching, man?
I'll tell you, it's a movie. These young kids go to this old man's house, or it was his grandmother's house. I don't remember.
You're making fun of me, man. You're making fun of me, and I don't enjoy it.
I'm sorry, too. It's okay. No problem. Motherfucking you fucking piece of shit.
I don't know. But listen, we'll isn't there
By the way, that's my favorite part of the movie right there.
Really? That's your favorite part?
Yeah, when he tells him, now go get your shine box.
You know, everything, sometimes I always miss the part where he goes, I don't know why, it's when they take Tommy away and he goes, the other guy goes, I used to fuck guys like that in prison. Like, why would you boast about that? Like, you're a fucking asshole. What apology? You didn't like that?
No, I wasn't talking to you, sorry.
All right, now, before we move on, isn't there some sort of application like Shazam, but with pictures? Like, you take a picture and it tells you what it is? Like, you put it through some sort of database?
I actually know who it is, but I just can't remember the name. That's the problem.
All right, fuck it. We'll move on. And I hope Precise doesn't leave us hanging and actually gives us a little bit of leeway here and tells us who it is.
No, Precise always does stuff like that.
I think he's trolling us. It's Larry Merchant. It's not Larry Merchant, Luke. Come on. It's Larry Merchant. It doesn't look like him at all. All right. I wanted to get back to boxing here. We were talking about, what's his name? David Haye, Tony Bellew. You guys over there in England aren't going to pay for the fight. Here in North America, did Showtime pick it up? Anybody know? Or it's not available here in North America?
I don't think so.
No? All right. So that means it's back to the old radio. Listening to it on radio. Also talking about other fights, we got another fight tonight. The one, the only, Ryan Garcia is going to be taking on Jason Velez. Now, we talked about Garcia in the last episode, and I gotta tell you guys, he's pissing off a lot of people, this Ryan Garcia. He was being interviewed by the very voluptuous Cynthia Conti over at Ring TV, and he was being very braggadocious, this Ryan Garcia. He was saying that he was gonna knock out Velez in one round, but that it might go until the fourth round, depending on how tough Velez comes into the fight. So you can tell he's opening his mouth quite a bit. We talked about this the other day. He has power, but against who? Against whom so far has he shown that power? It's against, inferior opposition. My thing is this, and I was thinking about this the other day. If Ryan Garcia, he's 19, he's still growing into his men's strength. If he can put on the muscle the way Canelo did, is it possible? Do you guys see that potential for Ryan Garcia? Like Canelo, again, Canelo at 19, he wasn't looking all that impressive, stopping people and all that. And then all of a sudden, look at him now. He grew up into a monster. Now, part of that had to do with, certain substances probably. But my question is, do you think Garcia can be more than what he has shown so far? Anybody?
I like Ryan Garcia. I like him. He's got chutzpah.
You're gonna.
All right, so hold on. Greg, go ahead.
When you're that age,
all right. Yeah, Greg, what you're just
Karen's too.
When you're that age, you're not gonna.
Go on, Stu. Go on. Stu, go on, please.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
yeah,
me?
we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's just people were talking.
I was just saying, when you're at 19, you get. You know what?
Go ahead, man.
It's the delay. It's the fucking delay. Sorry, Stu. I mean, yeah, Stu. Remember, we're on delay here. So, but yeah, you just keep going. Keep going.
Fuck, he's gone off now. But I was just about to say one thing. Greg likes Ryan Garcia because he wants Ryan Garcia as his latest victim in his basement.
Here we go. I was going to say, I like Ryan Garcia because he's a spunky individual, and I'm attracted to that kind of man bouncing around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought so, man. He's got
the type of character I'm going to adopt. I don't mind it, whatever. But literally, Ryan Garcia, he's all right. He's a decent prospect.
Shame he's got no masculine fucking. His posts are very masculine, I'll tell you that.
Mate, he doesn't need to be masculine as long as he's knocking people out.
He's 19, you know, I mean.
Spanking people silly.
My fucking ear's gone, man. Fuck's sake.
If he spanks people silly in the ring, then that's good enough for me.
Apology Man just gave £2. Thank you, Apology. Much appreciated, Apology. Your support keeps us going. Sorry about that, guys. Keep going.
Yeah, I expect big things of Ryan Garcia. Honestly, I think he's a decent boxer as well, looking at the way he dances around flamboyantly. And I think if you're flamboyant in a ring, I think it's a good thing, man. You look at these gypsy boxers, they dance around all gay-like and nice. But they still spank people around the ring. And that's... If they want to be that way, then that's fucking great. As long as they make the fighter win, then they're doing well.
Okay, yeah. So you're saying it doesn't matter how he looks or if he's dancing all the time, as long.
Win's a win. Win's a win, and no matter how you get all these fights like Haye Bellew, and they sell that fight, by acting like each other's nemesises. And it's a load of bullshit. So Ryan Garcia is selling his fight now by acting like a fucking flamboyant cocktail of a drink of a man, and that's the way he's going to sell his fight. That's what he's going to sell his fight.
But hold on a second.
He's a smarter man than that, I think.
You're saying he's a drink
man
of
that boxes that way. I think he's smarter than that. Yeah.
You're saying he's a drink of a man. If he were a drink, do you think he'd be a vodka on the rocks, or would he be an apple martini, an apple teeny, if you will?
No, it'd be what's that? Coca-Cola mixed with something else. Sunset drink. That's two. Cola Sunrise or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not big on my cocktails, but he'd be one of them.
All right.
Be flamboyant. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
And I tell you what, he's got more chance of selling out an arena than Jamie Cox has.
Well, I mean, that's not a.
Hey, what do you bring Jamie Cox up for?
Because he's fighting tomorrow.
Yeah, John Ryder, man.
I'm actually quite interested in seeing that. I ain't gonna pay for it.
I've got an accumulator. Tony Bellew, Martin Ward, and Jamie Cox to win.
You got Tony Bellew on TKO?
No, not by method. Just win, man. Fight outright.
I did that with my accumulator. I'm kind of regretting it now.
Nah, man. Tony Bellew. Fuck me, man.
All right, Steven Schneider.
Yeah, Haye, there's no chance. I'd put £100 on Haye not finishing the fight.
Shout out to Steven Schneider for that generous contribution, £2. He says, "Keep it up, guys." Thanks, Steven. Sorry about that.
I've got Tony Bellew, Martin Ward, and Jamie Cox just to win. I've got a £5 on that for a £90 return.
Get mine.
All right,
you guys place your bets.
I use Betfair.
How often do you? Okay.
Got a bet I am.
I don't think Betfair's the best odds as well, because David Haye was advertising Betfair on Instagram earlier.
Got a bet we're doing fucking odds earlier on what Tony Bellew was going to say in his fucking post weigh-in and post-fight interview. He had fucking get on to my wife and kids, mark my words, it is what it is, and shit like that. He put odds on what he was going to say, and I was like, what the fuck, man? You could put odds on what they were going to weigh in. I thought, fuck that, man. I thought, right, Bellew, Wards, and Cox to win. I don't think Cox will win, to be honest, but
yeah, he's the biggest worry of my accumulating. I've got Bellew on KO TKO. I've got loads of shit in there, like Golovkin, I've got Ryan Garcia in there, and Gary O'Sullivan as part of mine.
Yeah, them three will win, man. I just need Bellew. I mean, look, I thought, fuck it, I put a 5 on that, you get 90 quid return. I might as well do it, man. To be honest, I think Bellew's going to win anyway. So
yeah, I think Bellew's going to win as well. I cannot see Haye winning. I think I see him as a promoter that is trying to get a bit of cash in to pay off his fucking business bills. His tax bill is coming at this time of the year. Tax bill comes, he's paying off that, and he wants to get, because he's got Joe Joyce signed under him, hasn't he? So he's trying to get him. Push him on. I mean, he looks like a man that's going in the ring literally to pay bills. He does not seem concerned about anything.
Who are you talking about?
Man, isn't he?
Who are you talking about? I haven't heard the conversation.
David Haye.
David Haye. What about him? I mean, okay, who's speaking who for tomorrow? Let's just make the rounds. Who wants to go first?
We round by round fight between David Haye and Tony Bellew.
Yeah, I mean, just give your prediction. Who's going to win the fight?
It works out the exact same way it did last fight, and the way I saw last fight was Tony Bellew was ducking his big haymaker throw. He was throwing haymakers like the world was ending for the first 5 rounds, and he was ducking underneath all of them. And I think that same thing's going to happen again. I don't think he's got the speed or the discipline to throw a jab out, test his distance and test the waters and break through the defense and work out his opponent. I think he's just going to go in there and start throwing hands again. It's going to be silly. That's my opinion anyway.
Anybody else?
I say Bellew by toe stoppage in the 8th round.
What do you mean toe stoppage? Like he's gonna knock him out? He's gonna overwhelm him with punches? Or do you think Bellew has enough power to stop Haye though? Because remember he was standing on one leg and Tony Bellew couldn't knock him out.
But you got to remember, Bellew's got Matchroom in his corner, so he's got the Matchroom fucking ref, innit?
Oh yeah,
they love to stop fights. They do.
I say he stops because of his toe. Like he'll come.
Oh, okay. I think Haye's gonna quit somehow.
Always something gives out on him. His toe, his fingers.
Yeah.
His whole body's gonna break down.
Too much hardcore steroids he was taking, man. It's breaking him up.
Yeah, that was my theory. And then on top of that, he's getting old, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, how old is Haye now? What, 36, 7?
38.
Oh wow, he's old. I mean, when you start getting those injuries and you're 38, they don't get better. So, and if you're used to quitting one time, you'll quit again. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I got Bellew winning outright. I think Bellew wins the fight.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. What about you, Stu? Okay, we'll move on to Cameron.
Stu has Bellew choking him out.
All right. What's the other fight we have? No, okay, let's talk about Golovkin, Martir. I can never pronounce his fucking name.
Wait. No, we gotta save that one. Butcher, we gotta save that one for tomorrow.
Vaness, man. What?
We gotta save that one for tomorrow, man. There's plenty to talk about here. Why?
Gonna fight next.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, boys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Haye, I mean, he relies on youth and speed. That's the way he fights. And then when you're coming off a very bad injury, a leg injury at that, at his age, he's not really got the rounds in either over the last few years. You know, I just don't see any way that he can come back and be David Haye of old. I just don't see it. So I'm going to pick Tony Bellew to win again. It's going to be torture listening to him. It's going to be torture listening to Tony Bellew boasting about another win over David Haye. But I mean, unless David Haye shocks us, you know, you never know with boxing. It just takes one punch. But like I said, David Haye's fighting style was based on athleticism, and when you've fucked your knee up like that, or your leg, whatever it is, it's going to be hard for him to come back and be sharp on his feet and quick and nimble. I mean, I heard he was still limping around with Joe Joyce a few weeks ago. So if that's true, that's not a good sign at all.
I mean, he looked garbage in the fucking warm up. In the public workout, he looked dross. He's just smashing the pads willy-nilly.
Haye's best moments are gone, man.
That's the thing. I mean, is he even fucking? Is he gonna be? How's he been looking in? How's both guys? How have they been looking in the open workouts?
Both of them look shit. I mean, they're both not great, are they? But Stu makes a really good point. The fact that with a leg injury like that, it was his Achilles went or something like that. Haye's Achilles. That's like career ruining injury. That, I mean, you need at least a warm up fight to come back to a big fight before you start dancing around on your back foot like that. But I think as a boxer, as soon as that goes, you ain't got your leg work. Then what have you got? You just a fucking Rocky Balboa.
Well, especially David Haye. David Haye's an ambush fighter. His style's an ambush style, where it's a lot of footwork and then pouncing when the openings are there. But you rely on basic explosiveness and athleticism, and I just don't think that he's going to have that anymore. That's my point.
Very good point.
Yeah, very good.
That's why he got injured, I think. Also, tried to explode that way. I mean, he's ancient, and then not ancient, but he's older, right? And then those long layoffs. Those things aren't helping, man.
I was a fan of Haye.
I mean, in the first fight, he really
after he beat Chisora up outside and inside the ring.
Oh yeah, he beat him
in the first fight. He really struggled. He really struggled with his range. David Haye did. Could barely find range all night, and his timing was off. And this is a year on down the road. I mean, don't get me wrong, he looks in better fighting condition because he was too muscly the first time. I told you that before, far too big and slow and muscly. Terrible shape to be fighting.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I don't agree with any fighter putting that sort of muscle on. And that was his downfall in that fight. He looks a bit slimmer, so he's going to be a little bit quicker, I think. Not so telegraphed with his shots, but let's be real. It's still the same engine, isn't it? You know, you can get your car, you can get body work done on your car, but at the end of the day, if the engine's no fucking good, it don't really matter, does it?
Bellew's about the same height as him as well, isn't he? So if he's not going to be throwing out the jab towards him, I mean, never uses his jab, does he?
Haye's going to have to do that, man. He's going to have to try and use the jab in this fight.
I mean, man, that's 35, 36 years old, and he's going to start learning new tricks. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
No. I mean, the problem is with Haye, he's got to be more conservative this time, man. Like, last time we went headhunting for the early rounds, and he got nowhere. He wasn't trying to gauge distance, create openings. He was just hoping to land a big right hand. He did land it a few times, but he wasn't trying to create anything. He just thought one shot would knock him out. This time he's going to, it's going to be completely different.
Has Bellew even got that suspected chin as well?
No,
as far as I know, I think he's got a pretty solid chin.
I mean, he only got beat. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, in hindsight, he only got knocked out by Stevenson because Stevenson can punch, but Bellew was fucked. Yeah. He was fucked to the weight. I mean, you look at the guys he's taken punches off since then. I mean, come on, man. I mean, he took Haye shots, man. I mean,
if Bellew fought Stevenson in a rematch, I'd be at cruiserweight. I'd be picking Bellew.
Yeah, by KO as well, for me.
Yeah, me too.
You reckon, Bill, you can get back down to that weight though now?
Yeah, 200 pounds he can, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody wants to go to cruiserweight division when you know these guys want the easy money. Well, relatively easy in heavyweight because then they can you know they don't have to make weight. They can make more money. And like we were saying the other day, a cruiserweight could be dangerous at a heavyweight. But Tony Bellew, I mean, I see him having good defense, good rubber band movement, but I don't see him having the power or the work rate to beat the top two guys, which are Wilder and Joshua. He even said so himself, right? That he was surprised at how big. Was that?
Too small. He's too small for them guys.
Right.
Well, this is why I'm not buying the fight because what are the stakes of this fight? What happens? Whoever, no matter who wins it, what happens at the end of this fight? If
Joseph Parker,
nothing.
Absolute
zero. Absolute zero. That's what happens. Nothing happens. It's a pointless fight. There's a pointless fight. There's no title up for grabs. There's no final eliminator. There's no mandatory up for grabs. There's just nothing. It's just two egos fighting against each other for a big payday.
Listen, if both win, man. Bellew, I mean, they're talking about Bellew won't fight heavyweight off this fight. He's only fighting Haye. He's moving back down. He said that he's too small for Wilder. He said that himself. I think he'll fight. I think they'll try and make the Ward fight if Bellew wins the fight. And if Haye wins, he'll just set up for Joshua. That's what will happen.
I think you're probably right there.
Yeah, he is.
Eddie Hearn, fast pockets.
Haye will wait for Joshua and he'll probably fight some scrub after the Bellew fight, waiting for Joshua. That's what I think.
You think he'll fight Shannon Briggs? That fight was meant to happen.
Oh man, I forgot about Shannon Briggs. I mean, does anyone really care about him now?
I love Shannon Briggs.
Nah.
Didn't he dock Shannon Briggs? That fight was meant to happen.
I thought that'd be a perfect warm-up fight for Fury.
Yeah.
Oh man, Shannon Briggs. When he was trolling Klitschko, you know, when he was knocking him off the boat, it was hilarious, but it's so outdated.
No, he was meant to fight Haye, but Haye didn't want it for some reason.
Thank fuck.
Well, that's the problem with Haye, isn't it? He's a professional fucking... He gets people out of paydays, doesn't he? I think that's why I don't like Haye, because he dodges all these paydays for people.
Things with Haye. I mean, he's only in it for one thing. He's only in it for... He'll fight Joshua if he beats Bellew and he'll get out of the sport. I mean, and that'll be a stinker of a fight as well, man. Joshua and Haye would be such a boring fight. It really would.
Oh, you imagine Joshua with his jab against Parker. Just 2 rounds of that and he'd do him. He'd knock him out with
12 rounds. He wouldn't knock.
No, it'd be 12 rounds. 12 round stink fest.
Yeah.
Like the Klitschko Haye fight will be like.
What's going on there?
Well, what happened?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So Wilder and Joshua Wilder be a 12 round stinker as well.
I mean,
I have a feeling that's going to be bad. I have a bad feeling it's going to be a bad fight.
I think Haye Bellew tomorrow night will be a good fight, solid fight. I think, you know, one of them, you know, I think they'll both get hurt. I don't really care who wins the fight. I wouldn't really care if both retired after the fight. So, you know what I mean? I'm just going to watch the fight, see what happens. And, yeah, hopefully it's some actual decent action, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all.
I like Rob McCracken because, you know, he's a Brummie. Shout out to all the Brummies and all that. You know what I mean?
You sound like him, man. You do sound like him.
But I mean, he's teaching Joshua now the ancient sport of fucking boring boxing, and the only person to come in and spoil that is Tyson Fury if he ever gets in shape with an actual trainer. Because I don't believe Ben Davidson's a real trainer or whatever.
That'll be a stinker of a fight as well. Joshua.
It will be because it'll be fucking McCracken's style of, you know, keep him away, you know, score points we need to, win rounds, and then it'll just be the same thing as when he fought Klitschko, when Fury fought Klitschko.
Joshua's career's going to dry up now.
This heavyweight division is absolute garbage, mate.
It really is so boring.
That's when you know it's bad. I mean, people are relying on hoping that David Haye wins because it'll be better for the division. That's, you know, the fact that we're still hoping that Haye wins. People are still hoping that fucking David Haye wins at this point to win, to lighten up the division a bit more. I mean, that says it all, doesn't it?
Does yeah. You know what this division's like,
then on the trainer thing.
Sorry, mate.
These trainers get right on my fucking nerves. When I think the trainers try to steal the limelight. It's a bit like Jose Mourinho, where they come out with this tactical master plan and they try to take all the credit for it. You know how Mourinho does at Man United, right? Yeah. That's how a lot of trainers are. It's not for the fans anymore. It's, can I come up with a game plan that's going to stifle my opponent? Yeah. You know, let's just pick. You know, like you said, Cameron. Just whoever it was, Greg, who said, just picking a points win, throwing shots when you can, avoiding shots for the rest of the round. I mean, all right, it's tactical boxing, and you know, there's no problem with that. But I just don't like to see trainers stink joint out after joint. So you get people like Adam Smith go, what a tactical genius he is. It's so fucking cringy. Trainers.
All right, hold on. I want to say something here before we continue. We got Graphic Prod on the line, but I don't. You guys in the Hangout, I don't think you can hear him. But Graphic, are you there?
Yeah.
All right, Graphic Prod, the infamous one, who's been spouting. I can hear him. Was that?
He's not in the Hangout line, man.
No, he's not on. He's not on
quarantine.
He's on quarantine because we don't know how volatile he's going to be. I mean, if he's as volatile as he's been in the chat room, then you guys can't hear. But you can hear him if you if you switch over to the stream. Then you can hear him. Graphic Prod, I wanted to give you a chance to say what you wanted to say because you obviously feel very passionate about Lomachenko and who else do you hate? Gassiev. And
I don't hate Lomachenko. It's just he's unproven, and people always say that he's not, but he is. He's never really. He's only fought 2 legit 130 pounders. You guys can't name 5 130 pounders that he's fought while he's been in that division. Can you name them?
But he's not he just recently moved up to lightweight.
No, he's at 135 now. But I'm saying when people are trying to say he was pound for pound,
he's had 9 fights.
You can't tell me 5 130 pounders that he fought.
Who cares?
Wow.
But he just. But hold on.
Trash, man. He's moving
okay, guys.
Hold on.
One at a time.
122 pounders. He's never. There's only 2. You can only name 2.
You find me
pound.
You find me 5 top welterweights that Terence Crawford's fought. Then
okay, but let's not.
Logic.
But hold on.
No. See, what you're doing is you're changing the narrative.
But hold on. Let
me answer him, man. You're talking about
you're changing the narrative. Whoever just said that, you're changing the narrative. My narrative is this: Terence Crawford fought how many 140 pounders while he was there?
Were they good?
How many?
Were they good though?
They were the best of the division.
Who
did Lomachenko fight at
130?
What is this, man? Like you're talking about Lomachenko saying, why didn't he fight in one? You know, who's he fought at Super Featherweight? Who cares, man? The division's shit. He's moving up fighting Nares, who's a much more shit fight.
Because you can't even name 5.
But why do we have to? Okay, but hold on, guys. Let me. I just want to ask him questions, and I want to.
Calm down.
Yeah, people are getting too. I just want to ask him.
No, wait. Let BDA talk.
I want to ask him questions because I want to get to the crux of his argument and of his outlook on this thing because he has a right to say whatever he wants. So I just want to get to the bottom of this. Okay, you're saying that name 5 lightweights, but he just recently moved up to lightweight. Like, did you want him to fight lightweights when he was at 126 and 130?
No, if he was at 126, then he should fight people at 126. If you're at 130, you should fight people in your division. You shouldn't be like, okay, Moraga, move up, let's fight. Fight the best in your division, not the smaller guys.
I agree.
Terence Crawford, okay, you could say Gamboa, but that's the only person you could say. Lomachenko, half of his record is literally small guys. You can't tell me that. Tell me 5. Just give me 5 people. 5 people.
All right. You just can I answer? Can I answer, please? Can I answer? Let me just answer this. You're saying I agree. Mariaga moved up and Riganda moved up, but you also can we also agree? I don't know how long you've been a boxing fan for, but can we agree and do we know as boxing fans that getting the best fights made sometimes doesn't really happen right away, and sometimes when you're not a big name. Because we can agree Lomachenko isn't a big name yet.
He could have fought Burchelt. I mean, he could have fought another champion at his division. He didn't have to fight Moraga. There's no excuses. There's really no excuses, bro.
Okay, so
if that's the case, right? Hold on. If there's nobody in that division that's good, right? Then move the fuck up. Just move up.
Yeah.
That's why it's hilarious that people can compare him to.
All right, now let me just.
You can't compare this.
I want to say something.
Or say his resume.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
There's literally Lomachenko fans out there that think if he beats Linares, then he is like the best ever. That
no. That's ridiculous.
No,
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. No, but hold on. Actually, let me just. Hey. I want to talk here, please. Fucking stop interrupting everybody, please. Otherwise, this shit doesn't work out. Listen, I agree with you. There are people overhyping Lomachenko. I've said it before. That being said, you said name me 5 lightweights. All right, you can't name 5 lightweights because he just recently moved up, but he's taken on the consensus #1 lightweight out there, Jorge Linares. Now, I already know what you're gonna say because you've been writing about it in the chat room. You don't think Linares?
No. I'm not talking about lightweight. I'm saying when he was in the division below, when people were considering him pound for pound.
Okay, but what about now, though? What about now?
Right now, I think this is a good jump, but to me personally, I think he should have moved. He should have moved up to 135 before he fought Moraga.
I agree.
Come on now.
I agree.
This guy fought in the amateurs 400 fights. At what weight? What weight did he fight all those fights at?
I agree, man. But now my question is, why are you living in the past? I mean, forget about what people said about him. Now he's fighting Linares, and he's probably gonna take on better opposition down the line. So why are you so?
That's a good. I think that's good, but in my opinion, he's nowhere near pound for pound because he's not even close to being proven. You're not even fighting guys in your own weight class.
All right, please. I mean,
he beat Gary Russell Jr. He beat Gary Russell Jr.
Gary Russell Jr. was never a champion,
bro. Was the best guy in the division.
Never a champion.
Listen,
he was never a champion.
All right. Well, can I
didn't hear that. I didn't even hear it.
Let me just say, hold on. I want to say something. Here to counter that. Again, we're going back into the past. Oh, he should have fought this guy. He should have fought that way. First of all, Gary Russell Jr. wasn't a champion, but does that really matter? I mean, belts. Anybody can get a belt nowadays with the right connection. So to use that,
to win a belt.
Yeah.
Can I also point out the fact that he fought Jose Ramirez? Do you know how much of a bum that guy is? That's the first belt that you get.
Okay, but hold on. Please stop jumping in. Stop jumping in, everybody. I'm gonna have to ask you one last time to stop jumping in, please. I'll let you ask him questions later. But you didn't even address my point about Gary Russell Jr. and the championship. Who cares if he didn't have a title belt? Is that how you judge somebody's worth with a title belt?
No. My whole point with that is like people get at Terrence Crawford for fighting like. Who did he fight that wasn't a champion? I forgot who they said that. Oh, well, he can't fight this guy. He's not a champion. But Lomachenko, he fights Gary Russell Jr. And Gary Russell Jr. is a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. But he was never a champion at 130. So I don't understand why you're praising him when he was never a champion at that division. How many fights did he have? And he still didn't have a belt. And Jose Ramirez has a belt. So, I mean, it really that whole division to me is garbage. There's like the talent wasn't stacked. 130 was never really a stacked division unless you're talking about the 90s, especially right now. The best fighter right now is Tank Davis, and he's unproven. He right now to me is fighting bums as well. So,
but now here's my thing though. Like you're saying, well, Crawford, this Crawford. Forget about what people say about Crawford. We're talking about Lomachenko. But obviously, what you're saying is, you feel that there's a double standard that certain fans apply to Lomachenko that they don't apply to Crawford. Now, would it be fair to say that the opposite is also done as well?
Okay, explain.
Well, that some people say that they give Crawford way too much credit for what he's done, and they criticize Lomachenko.
And how? Break that down.
All right, so some people say, like you just said, well, Crawford beat the best at 140. Some people would argue that they weren't the best. I mean, in Dongo, Crawford, awkward guy, sure, but really
Lucas
the best.
Victor Posel beat Lucas Matisse. Lucas Matisse, for a couple years, was regarded as the boogeyman. Nobody wanted to fight him.
But that's what I'm. But sorry, you interrupted. Sorry,
hold on. Lucas Matisse that got beat by Devon Alexander.
Hold on. Don't answer that. Yeah, don't answer that yet. Okay, you interrupted me first of all, Graphic. That what I was going to say is this: it can work both ways. We have people on this show that say, well, Postul sucked because all he did was get lucky against Matisse. So what I'm trying to get at is that you can look at it from both sides. Some people overrate Terence Crawford, some people underrate him. Hold on, please. Some people underrate him. Some people overrate Lomachenko and some people underrate him. What I'm trying to get at is, why are, and this goes out to everybody out there as well, why are people so obsessed about, the narrative, my fighter isn't getting a fair share? Why do you care? I mean, the fighter can handle himself in the media, in the press, and more importantly, in the ring.
My only thing about that is Lomachenko acts like he's a legend already. That's my problem with him. If you look at his interviews, this guy's like, you know me, my legacy, what I'm trying to do with my legacy. It's like, bro, but if you were truly trying to do that with your legacy correctly, like the other guys, like Manny Pacquiao, he's jumping like different weight divisions and beating up people. You could say it's PEDs, you could say steroids, whatever. But at the end of the day,
Lomachenko is a legend already, though.
All right, but why does that? But why does that? But why does that bother? But why?
The way he boxes, the way he moves his legs.
But why? Hold on. Why do you care? Why do you like?
You're saying the way that
what's he supposed to? But
unorthodox.
My question is this:
Manny Pacquiao.
Graphic. Are you listening to me? Like, what's he supposed to say though? I mean, do you want him to say, "Oh, I'm average and I don't belong in this category"?
No, I 100% understand. You're supposed to sell yourself,
right?
But when you're just like to the point where you haven't even proven yourself. Like I said, you can't name me 5 boxers while he was in the 130 division that he fought that was legit 130 pounders. He fought smaller guys.
Let's be real. Let's be real, right? Terence Crawford. You keep mentioning Terence Crawford, right? You keep mentioning Terence Crawford, but he's going up fighting Jeff Horn. So it's not like he's gone up to 147 to find the best guy that you expect Lomachenko, which he has done, Linares. Crawford's gone and fought a mid-table guy. So if you want to go down that route, we can go down that route.
And Terence Crawford's going to get.
Yeah, we can. So let's go down that road. Jose Ramirez, the guy that Lomachenko beat, that guy's a bum. Jeff Horn, he just beat Pacquiao. People regard as a Hall of Famer. Name one Hall of Famer.
BDA, I beg you to Terence Crawford.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna say one last thing, and then I'll stay quiet. I'm gonna say one last thing, and I'll say, Graf, I'm going to invite you over to the regular Hangout because I can see you're not a troll. So I'm just gonna put you in there, and I'll send you the link on the Hangouts. I'm gonna close the one you're in now, and I'll bring you back on the regular one. Okay?
All
right. And then people, you can talk amongst yourselves, and I'll stay out of the way. All right? Hold on a second. All right. So I'm setting that up now.
I just want BDA. I just want you to get Terence Crawford's resume up, please, and put it on the screen.
I'm gonna stay out of this.
We want to talk about Lomachenko.
I'll let you guys get into it because I already said what I wanted to say. I think some people, I think there's enough exaggeration, but if you guys want to continue this, I know you got a lot to say, so I'll let you say it. I'm sending.
I haven't got a lot to say.
No.
That's because you're allowed to say what you wanted, Stu. We got told to shut the fuck up, basically, man.
I got a lot to say, but I didn't get to say it.
I've got something to say about records as well, man. Records are fucking full of shit.
All right, so everybody will be able to debate, but let's just one at a time.
You know when you see
you can't have a guy come on here and throw all these accusations, and then when we try to reply, tell us to be quiet.
No, I know. That's why
he's here now. Now you can talk because Billy wanted to make his point. Now you can talk, Stu. It's your turn, and go ahead.
Go ahead, guys.
No, I don't really want to say anything. All I want BDA to do is put Terence Crawford's resume up on the screen. And we want to talk about.
And then let's do Lomachenko.
I'll show you a few.
Can we do Lomachenko after?
Quick, I'll respond to you.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll do Lomachenko's. I know which one I prefer.
Let Apology say something, man. He's been trying to get.
Yeah, Apology's been trying to say something for a while.
Thanks. The reason why Lomachenko, I was going to say the reason why Lomachenko's record's like that because no one's fighting him.
That's not true.
That is true. He moved up 2 divisions. He moved up 2 divisions for a reason because no one's fighting him. He got all the champs and everyone's ducking. All right, who wanted to fight?
No. You tell me who ducked him. How about that? Let's start there. Who ducked him?
division. The whole division.
Okay, like who? You just say the whole division and not name any name.
Davis, Belchek.
Belchek, no. Belchek said, "I will fight."
Yeah, he said that, but did he do anything about it? I mean, I can say whatever I want.
Did Lomachenko send any contracts to Belchek?
Did Belchek send anything though? I mean, what is this?
Dude, look at
this shit.
They asked him, like, "What do you think?"
Who's a hater, man?
How am I a hater?
Yeah.
You guys don't like.
You are talking a lot of shit, Graffiti. I mean, you talk about Jose Ramirez. It was Lomachenko's first ever fucking fight, man. You're slightly.
Yeah, come on. That's not even a good argument, man. Come on.
Yeah, but no, that's not. He's had 400 amateur career fights. So how is that his second fight?
His first pro fight. It's a way different game, man. Come on.
Yeah, pro's a lot different to the amateurs, man. Especially back
Come on, man. Who do you want to fight in his?
That's my whole thing. You guys want to praise him for the amateur career and say that he's levels above everyone, but on his second fight, he fights.
You're saying he's level above everyone.
No, not me. Bob,
yes, you are. You're saying right now.
Bob Arum, come on, get out of here. It's a promoter, man. He's gonna say shit.
The Salido fight against Lomachenko is a perfect example of transitioning from amateur to professional, because Salido was there standing him, whacking him in the bollocks, and Lomachenko didn't know what to do.
Dude, he was hitting him in the body too. See, Lomachenko fan.
How many bollocks? I think it was about 6 times hitting him in the bollocks.
Should Salido been disqualified?
Can I ask you a question?
Definitely.
Can I ask you a question?
Can you answer my question first, real quick?
Okay. I'm sorry. What was your question?
Should he been disqualified?
If you think Salido should have been disqualified, then Maidana should have been disqualified as well.
Why are you moving the goalposts?
That's not answering the question.
Yeah.
That's not answering the question. Salido was using Lomachenko's balls like a speedball, man.
Oh, come on. He hit him like 6 times.
No, come on, man.
6 times, man. That's 3 times too many times.
That makes it okay then.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. He should have been disqualified, or points should have been reduced. And I honestly don't think that without him doing that, I don't think the outcome would have been different. He was just
man.
He was bullshit. He was bullying Lomachenko. The only round Lomachenko looked good was round 12, bro.
Graffiti, get in the ring, man, and see if you can keep up. See if it affects you.
Bro, I box for the police department. I know how to fight.
Then you should know that getting hit in the balls will affect you.
If you have a lot, it really doesn't do that much, depending on if you
come on, man.
That's why people take 5-minute breaks in between.
Man, you get hit in the balls, man. It takes something out. Man, how hard it is, man. Lomachenko still almost stopped him. Lomachenko
in the 12th round. That's the only round he looked good. Come on.
You know, usually I agree. Usually, no matter who it is, there's one point that I'll actually agree with that they probably make. But this guy, I've not agreed with anything that's come out of his mouth in the last 15 minutes. Not one thing. I've agreed with him.
Bro, you got destroyed.
I think you're trolling, bro.
Oh, for God's sake, he's bringing that up now.
What was the original point anyway?
Say that again.
Why are we shitting on?
I got destroyed on the boxing voice. This is your mentality, because that to you is a destroying. If that's destroying to you, then that just shows your mentality. I think so putting a few sound bites over my voice when I'm trying to talk, that's destroying, is it? Yeah.
Well, you didn't have any points to make.
I've got a point for you, Joe. I've got a point for you completely, man.
I didn't get a chance to make any fucking points. You've had 15 minutes to make any points, so you haven't made any fucking
Maybe we should behave like the boxing voice and play. Maybe we should behave like the boxing voice and play fucking with the soundboard and start giggling like little fucking animals. Come on, man. Look, you have time to talk here. This is a civilized place. This is a civilized hangout.
My whole point. Really quickly. Real quick.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. If Lerma wins against Larich, would you give him credit and call him a pound-for-pound fighter?
Of course.
Okay.
Now, I'm not gonna say he's a pound-for-pound fighter. I'm gonna say that's a step towards being the pound.
Okay.
No. Let me ask you something. I mean, you're talking about. I mean, why? I don't know why you're so bothered about Lomachenko not fighting guys like Birchall. I mean, if you got put an option, would you rather Lomachenko fight Linares or Birchall? And if you think it's Linares, then why the fuck do you care about who he fought at super featherweight? Because it's a much better fight.
No. People were trying to say he was pound for pound when he wasn't fighting people in his own division.
He's pound for pound, man. You got no anything, man, can say that.
Well, Terence Crawford's meant to be pound for pound #1. Name one fighter in the pound for pound list he's fought.
Gambo.
He fought smaller guys as well, man.
So, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute, Cameron. This guy just said Gamboa is a 10. This guy just said Gamboa is a pound for pound top 10 fighter.
Oh my god, man. Gamboa's never been a pound for pound top 30 fighter, man.
Okay, so name.
Gamboa's not even a top 130 fighter.
He's Cuban. He's Cuban.
Who did Lomachenko fight that's pound for pound besides a 122 pounder?
Well, you're excluding the pound for pounder he fought. I mean, come on.
Because that's not even in your division, bro. Even him, he said it himself. He said, "You guys shouldn't count this as a win for me. The guy was too small." He said it literally.
Listen, man. Lomachenko's had 9 fights, whatever. Gary Russell Jr., Nicholas Walters, a legit win.
Walters won a vacant belt. He's not a true champion, bro. Let
me correct you on that, man, because Donaire was the super champion when Walters beat him, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Go to Boxing Rec right now. Like, go right now.
Man, fuck Boxing Rec, man. Fuck all the results and all that. You watch
all right, hold on. One at a time, please.
Glamorous.
Donaire was the super champion, man.
Well, hold on, guys. Let's try to have a civil Let's try to have a civil discussion here. There's no need to scream over each other.
Hold on.
All right, Bucho, you have better audio than I do in the Hangouts. You take over and moderate, please. All right, Bucho, can you do that?
Yeah, sure. Okay,
so
Cameron, go ahead. Hold on. Okay, go.
Fuck's sake, man.
Can I just ask this question? So if if Lomachenko does beat Linares, you guys will rate him as like pound for pound, right?
Yep, #1.
Okay, just explain that reasoning.
He's already pound for pound.
He's not, but go ahead. Explain why he is and why his wins are better than Terence Crawford clearing out a whole entire division. Explain that.
Let me ask the initial question before I fucking interrupt.
The worst division. The worst division at the time.
Hold on. Wait. Cameron got interrupted before, so let's let Cameron ask whatever he was going to ask.
No, I was going to say real quick. I interviewed Donaire the week of that fight, man, when he fought Walters. Donaire was the WBA super champion. Walters was the regular champion. They unified the titles. Walters beat Donaire for the WBA super featherweight title, man. Donaire had the legit super title, man. He didn't win a vacant belt. Donaire was the champion. He beat Yekin for the title.
I'm about to tell you right now, I'm on Boxing Rec.
Right. Go on it, man. Go on it. Donaire went into that fight as a WBA super 126-pound champion. And Nicholas Walters won the title from him.
All right, Precise is on the line. He's gonna get interesting.
Okay, so yeah, look, like I said, the first belt that Nicholas, like I said, Carlos Manuel Reyes, the first vacant belt that Nicholas Walters received.
Yeah, he wasn't when he fought Lomachenko. He was not.
Who let the nerd in? Who let the nerd in?
I'm just telling you the truth, bro. You guys,
depended upon how.
It's not the truth, though, bro. It's not the truth, though, bro.
Box Rec warrior. You're a Box Rec warrior, bro.
He beat Donaire for the that's the truth, man. He beat Donaire for the legit title. That's his.
And you know what's crazy? Donaire is his only good win, bro.
But it doesn't change the fact that he still beat him for a title.
What division is Donaire from? Do you know?
Man, you're backtracking now, man. You're trying to bring up all these fucking excuses.
No, I'm bringing up.
Yeah, but
you guys, both of you guys are getting this all wrong. All of you guys are getting all this wrong because pound for pound is not based on your resume. Because if it were, Pacquiao would be pound for pound #1 fighter in the sport. Point blank, motherfucking period. It's not about your resume. Pound for pound is about how skillful you are. It's very much subjective because we can sit here and argue. Well, I think this guy is more skillful. That guy is more skillful.
That's true.
Pound for pound has always been based and should always be based on skill first and foremost. Wins only solidified the fact that you are either right about the guy, and if he loses, you are wrong about the skill. Pound for pound is not about your resume. It has nothing to do with the resume. I know a lot of these ranking systems have screwed it all up. They've screwed it all up for a lot of people. It's not about the resume. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, no, you're right, because ESPN doesn't even have Gary Russell's ranked at all. Like, period, at all for that division. So that's how I know that that's kind of fucked up. But for me, it's hard to do a pound for pound list when you have the divisions in the bigger divisions. The fights are obviously harder, right? We can all agree. A welterweight fight is harder than a featherweight fight, right? So it's hard to compare those two. And it's hard to do that. But if somebody's clearing out a whole entire division, while you want to say the competition sucks, blah, blah, blah. But if he beats everyone that's good, then in that division, you kind of have to say that he's pound for pound. Now he's moving up and he's fighting a champ. Like,
okay,
so
can
by
I
your
interject?
standard, you have Golovkin number one as well, right?
No, Golovkin's never moved up. He's stayed.
No, I'm asking you a question. Do you have him as one of the best? One of the best pound fighters? You said clearing out a division.
Well,
that's a good fucking point. That's a very good point, though. But let Graphic respond. Let's Graphic respond.
I can't give that to Triple G because
you're a hater.
Nah, come on. Let's not throw that word around.
154 pounders. He fought Gabe Rosado, who's 154. He fought Kell Brick, who's a welter.
Terrence fought Gamboa, bro. Come on, now Terrence fought.
So now you can.
How many lightweights did he fight? He fought like 3 or 4 lightweights on his way up. And by the way, Terrence did not clean out a division. He collected all the trinkets. He did not clean out a division. That's another thing that people don't seem to know.
Okay, then explain to me
the division to a point where cleaning out a division means not only do you grab up all the belts, you beat all the title holders in the division, and you beat all the contenders and mandatories. That's cleaning out the division. Obviously, he was undisputed, and that counts for something. But I guarantee you. No, look, I guarantee you that. Hold on, give me just 1 second. I guarantee you that somebody's going to win a belt, and I'm sure it's happened in the past, and you said, well, that belt didn't mean anything. I'm sure you've done that. We all do this. So just because you win all 4 belts, that doesn't mean you're number 1 pound for pound. However, if you want to see Terrence Crawford is number 1 pound for pound for you, I'm not going to argue that. That's subjective. It's on you if you believe that.
I'm sure people have Triple G as pound for pound because he's been reigning on the middleweight for like however long, like years. So I can't dispute somebody that's saying that. But me personally, I don't have him there.
Because it's subjective.
Going by your criteria. Can I just get in here? Going by your criteria, then you're going to have the winner of Usyk Gassiev as the pound for pound. Top 3 at least.
For cruiserweight,
you're going by your criteria of cleaning out a division.
Well, no,
there's
another belt. There's another belt, though.
This guy's not going to get pound for pound with the best.
It's for all the belts, man. It's for all the belts. Usyk Gassiev is for all the fucking belts.
But
this guy's hard work.
Well, hold on. Can I say something? Even if it wasn't for all the belts, he's still already. If he does beat Gassiev, or if Gassiev vice versa, they already cleaned out the division pretty much. So again, I go back to the question of who cares about belts, if anybody. I mean, these organizations has been corrupt and giving it up the ass to boxing fans and to boxers for decades now. So why are we putting so much stock on, he beat this champ or he beat that champ? The man makes the belt nowadays, not the other way around. That's just me.
It's a mixture of Floyd's past legacy. I can admit that, but honestly, I think I honestly think Gassiev is going to beat Usyk. That's my personal opinion. But
I think that too. Honestly,
agree on that. Agree on that.
I mean, like belts are just like it shows that you are the best in the division, but that's not always true. But for the most part, and now because of Floyd, you get to be selective of who you get to fight because you're the A side. So I can understand that, but I got to give it to Terrence Crawford because he fought everybody or anybody that was good in one division. Lomachenko if he beats Linares, then he's on his way to be pound for pound for this year. I got to give it to him.
I got a question. I got a question. Hold on, Stu.
Go.
Question.
Go.
Who has better defense? Who has better defense, Lomachenko or Terrence Crawford?
Oh, Lomachenko.
Who has better offense, Lomachenko or Terence Crawford?
I gotta give that to Crawford.
Why?
Why? Because Crawford he's a switch hitter. So I honestly think if Crawford and Lomachenko were to ever fight, he would. I mean, Lomachenko's team already said fighting Crawford's career suicide. So we all know that obviously Crawford would beat him. He's also the bigger man.
Because of his size.
Yeah, he's also the bigger man.
I disagree, by the way. I think Lomachenko takes him to school, but go ahead.
I don't see.
That's okay. It doesn't matter for the sake of the conversation. It doesn't matter. So you think because Terence Crawford switches to southpaw sometimes when he gets in trouble, you think that makes him a better fighter than Lomachenko?
He doesn't switch when he gets in trouble. He switches. First of all, he goes unorthodox just so you can get used to unorthodox. Then he switches and starts his attack. Like,
did you see what happened to him when he switched to southpaw against Gamboa? How Gamboa kept landing right hands on him. Yeah, every time he switched.
No. See, you can't paint that narrative. He was fooling around and showed.
I'm not the one. I'm not the one painting narrative, bro. You're the one painting the narrative. I'm looking at what's happening in the ring
right there.
I'm looking at what's happening in the ring and just commentating on it. You're the one painting a narrative. But look. It's well within your right to have Crawford pound for pound number one. I'm just challenging you. That's all. I don't have a problem with Crawford being pound for pound number one. I wouldn't put him there personally because I don't think he's as skillful as Lomachenko, nor has he proved as much as Lomachenko has to me.
Can I ask you what has Lomachenko proved? Tell me who he has beaten to prove this superiority.
He beat a pound for pound guy in Guillermo Rigondeaux. What pound for pound level fighter has? Hey, we're talking about the pinnacle of your skill, right? And
so if Terence Crawford tells Chocolate Tito to move up and he beats him, because at one point people were like, Chocolate Tito, he's pound for pound. If Terence Crawford beats him,
what is this guy talking about?
Yeah, but Lomachenko didn't. Lomachenko did not tell Rigondeaux to move up. He did not want to take the fight. The people forced him to take the fight because they thought Guillermo Rigondeaux was going to beat him because they had him top 3 pound for pound. That was the narrative going into that fight. Chocolatito, the difference between Chocolatito and Crawford is like Crawford fighting Kovalev. So let's not even go there. But as far as the size difference goes, we do have a fight we could compare. Since you want to compare mythical fights, we could look at the Gamboa fight. And Terence Crawford struggled with Gamboa, even though he had more reach, more height, and more weight of an advantage than Lomachenko did over a better fighter in Guillermo Rigondeaux. And Guillermo Rigondeaux couldn't touch Lomachenko, and Lomachenko embarrassed and made him quit, whereas Gamboa had Crawford on Queer Street 3 or 4 times in that fight. So we have a comparison as far as level of opponent, let's say size-wise, and maybe skill-wise. Gamboa is underrated, was at that point. But we saw how Lomachenko performs against a smaller guy that's very skillful from the same, let's say Cuban school of boxing versus how Terence Crawford performed. Didn't we? Didn't we have that comparison there?
Yep.
Yeah, but Gamboa and Rigondeaux fight completely differently. Let me ask you something.
What's the matter, man?
Hold on. Please. Let Graphic respond.
I brought up Chocolatitos because he's a pound for pound little guy. If you bring up the little guy, you're gonna beat him no matter what. The whole
Crawford did bring up a little guy in Gamboa.
Not two
and he did beat him.
Not two
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Is this
Gamboa started on 126, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he?
After he fought, listen, Gamboa fought at 140.
At 126.
No. Okay, obviously. But before Terence Crawford, he had a match.
So keep it consistent, bro.
Yeah, Guillermo Rigondeaux fought at featherweight also. He had a few fights at featherweight.
He didn't get a tune-up at that division. Gamboa fought at 140 first. You want me to pull up who he fought? Do you want me to? Because I could prove that. He had one fight, and then after that, he fought Crawford. So it's not like he was like, okay, you got to jump. You don't get a tune-up fight at this weight class. You just got to fight me. That's not what happened.
Yeah, but that didn't make him a better fighter just because he had one fight at that weight. Who did he beat?
It's Gamboa was used to that weight.
Gamboa could go to 154 and beat a bum at 154. So what?
You're not understanding the reasoning. My reasoning is Rigondeaux didn't even get a tune-up fight at that division to even be used to the weight, bro. Gamboa got a tune-up fight.
Used to what weight? What do you mean used to the weight? What do you mean by that?
130. If
Yeah,
Rigondeaux
but what do you
moves
mean
up-
used to? What does that mean? Like, explain it to me
He
like I'm
didn't get a
5.
tune-up. I'm trying to like you're not understanding. Gamboa moved up. He had one fight at 140, right? That's the division.
No, I
that
got
Crawford
that. I understand all that. I want you to tell me what it means in plain terms. What it means to get used to a weight. What does that mean?
Come on, you really? You don't understand that? Like it's like.
Do you?
Yeah,
Do
I
you?
understand it. It's like
Help us understand it. Help us.
Oh, what is it? Explain it.
If Canelo moved up and had a tune-up at 160 before he fought Triple G, you don't think the outcome would be different? His body would be used to the weight. He'd be more agile because he'd have an understanding of shifting the weight that he just gained. That's what I'm trying to point. Obviously. So yeah, Gamboa.
But Rigondeaux, he didn't put any weight on. But Rigondeaux didn't put any weight on. He didn't put any weight on.
Yes, he did. He moved up 2 weight divisions. What are you talking about?
That doesn't mean he put any weight on. He didn't put any weight on.
Oh my God. All right.
He just, look, let me explain to you because I don't think you understand what it means to move up and look. Guillermo Rigondeaux, like you said yourself, he didn't have the time to put all this weight on, unless you're trying to tell me he did some crazy ass roids to be able to put on, what was it, 12 pounds in a few months? No. That doesn't happen, especially at the ripe age of 40. That just doesn't happen. What Guillermo Rigondeaux did is he didn't drain himself down to 122, meaning he was a better fighter at 130 pounds than he ever was at 122 physically. Obviously, yes, it is. Obviously, he was fighting a bigger guy. There's no doubt about that. And you have to give Lomachenko, you have to take into account the fact that he was heavier, he was taller, he had longer reach. But Guillermo Rigondeaux didn't physically put any weight on. He was roughly the same weight he always is. Whenever he fights at 122, he's right around 130 in a ring, except he doesn't have to drain himself down.
You're telling me the fucking Rigondeaux that you saw at 130 is the same at 122. That's what you're saying.
No, he's more comfortable at 130 because he doesn't have look. Okay, so check this out. Let me explain this to you. Let's say Guillermo Rigondeaux fights Amagasa, right? And Guillermo Rigondeaux doesn't have to make 122 pounds. He could weigh in whatever he walks around in, and he doesn't have to struggle to make the weight that he always struggles to make, like all fighters do. Do you think he's going to be a better fighter having to make 122, or he's going to be a better fighter not having to make weight?
He's going to be a better fighter at 122.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, hold on a second.
Anybody else have any questions for Josh here? Or?
Yeah, okay. Do you know the difference between the difference between same night weigh-in and what you actually meaning what you rehydrate to, the weight that you rehydrate to on the night of the fight? Do you know the difference between that and what somebody's supposed to weigh in, for a weight class like 122 for Guillermo Rigondeaux?
Yeah, you rehydrate to the weight.
Okay.
You rehydrate usually above that weight. Most boxers rehydrate a little bit above.
Right. Okay. So you do understand that. So on the night of the fight, Guillermo Rigondeaux came in against Lomachenko the same weight he always comes in. Okay? The same way that he always comes in at 122. So he had to cut less weight. You understand what I'm saying? He had to cut less weight to fight at 130 pounds. Secondly, he wanted that fight, right? Guillermo Rigondeaux wanted that fight. So Lomachenko fought him, beat him. He took care of the little man like he's supposed to. Your comparison of Terence Crawford versus Gamboa is not a credible one. Saying that he went up in weight and had one fight and he had time to get accustomed to that weight doesn't change the fact that he was the much smaller man versus Terence Crawford. That's not going to change that. Terence Crawford was naturally the bigger man. He weighed about 155 pounds that night of the fight. Okay? I guarantee you Gamboa didn't weigh no more than 142, 145 at best. Okay? So he's the smaller man. So that comparison is not a good one. Because he struggled. He struggled against Gamboa.
Can I ask you something? Do you think Gamboa would beat Lomachenko?
No.
You don't think it'd be a war kind of fight? They're very slight.
He wouldn't touch Lomachenko. He damn sure wouldn't be hurting him and having him all over the fucking ring on Queer Street. I guarantee you that.
So you asked who would win between Rigo and Gamboa, right? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
I think Rigo beats him. That's my opinion. That's an opinion.
You think Rigo beats
factual?
Gamboa?
Just like you thinking Lomachenko is not a pound-for-pound fighter, it's an opinion that has nothing to do with facts. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. All right, pound for pound is just your opinion. That's all it is. Okay, nothing would ever change that. But your comparison is a bad one. That's a bad comparison. Okay, saying, oh, he wiped out a whole division. Listen to what you said. He wiped out a whole division, but Golovkin wiping out a whole division. I'm saying what you said, okay? But Golovkin doing that, nah, that's a little different. What's so different about it?
Well, because Golovkin had a welterweight and he fought a lot of.
No. He wiped out top 10 middleweights. I'm asking you, what's the difference? That's a fact. He knocked off top 10 middleweights. Why don't you have him in your pound-for-pound opinion list?
Hold on, let him answer.
Personally, I just don't like his style. That's me being real. I just don't like
then you're proving that you don't like his style more. Moreover, that means that pound-for-pound to you is a style thing.
It's subjective, yes.
Okay, that's all it is. It's subjective. That's all it is.
I know.
But if you understand that's what that is.
Can I just get...
Yeah, let's
go ahead,
let's do.
No, I was just going to say, you said that Lomachenko didn't have 5 solid wins at 130. I just want you, because you're talking about Terence Crawford like he's pound for pound greatest ever. I just want you to give me 5 solid wins at 140 that Terence Crawford had. Just you want to talk 5 solid wins. I want
Victor Felix Diaz.
Yeah.
Come on, wait a minute. Come on. What is this?
You put a star to 5. That was a problem.
I think we should just end it there.
Ricky Burns was at 135. Ricky Burns was at 135.
Yeah, but
no, I'm saying I'm going by your standards. Okay, you want to be very specific when it comes to weight, so let's keep it that way.
Yes.
Ricky Burns was at 135, so you can't use him.
Exactly.
All right, fine. I'll take him off. All right, Thomas Dalmore or Thomas
Delorme.
Come on. Let him finish, please. Let him finish, please.
Okay.
Come on.
Let him finish.
John Molina.
Okay.
Julius Indongo.
Okay. Look.
Murderers, bro.
I'm not here to laugh at the opponents.
Okay? Yeah, hold the score.
I said solid wins.
All right.
Right.
Now
But
let's
do
Lomachenko. Let's do Lomachenko.
For debate. You don't have a unanimous.
We're doing Lomachenko.
I don't want to do Lomachenko.
What?
That sounds because it sounds dirty. You want to do Lomachenko? I'm kidding. No, go ahead. Give the list.
I don't mean it like that.
No.
Okay.
I know. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
All right. So Jose Ramirez.
What about him? That was his first fight.
Is that a good win?
That was his first fight. Not bad.
Soria Taktkun, whoever the fuck that is.
That was a great win, bro. Did you not see how Lomachenko ended the guy with one hand? He was knocking him down with the use of only one hand. That was an amazing win, bro. What are you talking about?
Thailand. He doesn't even have a fucking record. Like,
I don't give a shit where he's from. I'm not. Yeah. You're looking at BoxRec, bro. Look at what he did in the ring. We're talking about skills. We're not talking about what BoxRec says. Fuck BoxRec. There was this Thai guy eating rats for fucking 30 years of his career, and now he's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. So,
but Vasyl Lomachenko is the best win on this guy's record. Like, you go look.
Go ahead. I'm just fucking around, bro. I'm just fucking around.
But I'm just saying, Gary Russell Jr. is probably the best win on his record. Just being real.
Yeah.
Which is a good win. Gary Russell Jr., I don't know why he never became a champion or whatever, but he's really
Lomachenko, that's why.
Lomachenko's spanking that ass.
He wants a rematch. He wants a rematch.
No, he doesn't.
I don't think he'll win that rematch, to be honest. So
you won't hear me. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Apology.
All right. I think is your problem with Lomachenko is that he didn't clean out his division. That's your problem, right? He didn't fight the champions.
You know what my honest opinion, my real problem is everybody saying that he has the best boxing resume in history. He's better than Ray Robinson. He's better than Ali. He's like
no, the best 11, 12, 13 fights. That's what people are saying.
Yeah, no one think he's better than Robinson or whatever.
No, nobody said that.
Oh, what?
He is, but nobody's saying that.
Oh, wait a minute. That is. Oh, wait a minute. I don't agree with that. I disagree with that. I disagree with him being better than Robinson.
I never saw Robinson.
Easy work.
I don't care who Robinson is. And I never seen him fight. All I saw is.
You never seen Ray Robinson fight? Not in person, but I mean online, like videos.
I mean,
yeah, those skills would not cut it today. Those skills would not cut it today. I'm sorry, they will not.
I don't know about.
He got hit too much, man. He got hit way too much.
He'll get put. My man, he'll get put to sleep. I guarantee you that. With that same style, tell any fighter to fight like that at middleweight, and he'll get put to sleep. Yeah, Charlo will knock him out.
No, but you see, at that time, the hands. I know what you're saying. They have their hands down, right? But you see, back at that time, in that era of boxing, that was the style. So you can't really judge them off that. Like, oh yeah, they would do that because they got their hands down. They're adapting to their era.
Boxing is subjective. Do you know that fighting is fighting? Period. Unless you fight someone,
no,
you don't know what's going to happen.
The best boxer to me is Prince Nassim Hamed.
Oh, well, there you go.
Did you just say the best boxer ever, or did I mishear?
What's that?
Graphic. Hold on, graphic. What did you say? I'm not fooling around.
The best boxer ever is Prince Nassim Hamed.
You mean in terms of? But hold on, in terms of resume, or in terms of the potential that you saw in him?
Oh, just skill, everything. Like he hardly trained, right? He just fought off reflexes.
Mostly in the beginning of his career. Hold on, I want to say a couple of things here. I haven't spoken in a while. Oh, and by the way, Cameron left, and he said in the chat room that because he didn't feel he was getting his time to talk. Listen, there's about 8 people in the hangout here. It's a discussion that's getting very interesting. So if some people, at some point it becomes like a mountain. You gotta fight for your place to get a say in there. And Bucho and I are trying to moderate as best we can. But I mean, don't go around saying, oh, there's favoritism, and some people are being allowed to talk and others aren't. It's very hard to. Graphic came in here, and he says something, and everybody jumps in immediately. But I wanna give him a chance to respond sometimes also to what he's saying. Otherwise, we can't have a conversation here. All right. That being said, Nassim Hamed did train in the beginning of his career, but then he started slacking off, and that's where you saw him getting dropped and all that. But even against Barrera, I mean,
he got his ass whooped against Barrera. I can't even defend that. Like, that dude straight up beat his ass. But he didn't care about boxing anymore at that
That's
point.
true. But can I just?
But when he was in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When he was in his prime, I think he was pretty much unbeatable at that weight class. And also, he offered Barrera and Eric Morales $1 million to fight the night of Augie Sanchez. The guy that beat Floyd Mayweather in the amateurs.
Mm-hmm.
He knocked him out cold and put him on a stretcher.
He also got dropped, right?
By
Augie Sanchez. Augie Sanchez dropped him, or I think had him.
Or it was like a knockdown. I don't think they called it, but when they replayed it,
he kind of. You see, but with Nassim, he gets low naturally, so he can be off balance and touch the mat.
Well, that's not really then.
Hamed.
That's not really then.
Hamed wasn't very skillful.
I mean, he was. I mean, listen, I give Hamed credit for what he did because he made it. He made it work. The guy had incredible power for 126 pounder. He did have very good reflexes. But when you're fighting with your hands down and getting tagged and getting dropped, I take points away from that. I don't see that. It's as if Terence Crawford or Lomachenko were getting dropped every 2 fights. I mean, that you gotta take points away from that.
I compare him to Wilder a lot because they're both like unorthodox. Except Nassim might have a little bit more skill. Do you think Wilder's good at all or no?
I think Hamed's more skillful than Wilder.
I think that's a good comparison. Honestly, I think that's a good comparison. The skill level, I would say Hamed was better. But
you know what?
There is something that there was that awkward punching that you don't know where it's coming from, and yeah, I could kind of see what he's talking about there.
Because you know what? If I tell somebody, or if I ask somebody the same question that Graphic just asked, which is, who do you think is more skilled, Wilder or Hamed? Most people would go with Wilder just because he keeps his hands up most of the time. But in terms of boxing IQ, I would definitely go with Naseem Hamed. But that doesn't mean that Wilder doesn't know what he's doing in there, because for as unorthodox as he is, or as off balance as he is sometimes, he still manages to land that right hand in there. So I got to give Wilder credit as well. But I'd go with Naseem Hamed on that one. Better IQ.
I mean, I'm with what a lot of graphics saying on this about Naseem Hamed. I think he had a short career, but he was a very underrated career because he got tagged so much. I think he's a great fighter.
Also,
but
he lost.
He's better than Wilder, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, for sure. But he also lost that fight to Barrera because he left the Ingle gym too, which I think was like one of the worst decisions he could have ever made. He was a
but you're only as good as your fights. Like, okay, those are just excuses, to be honest. He was in his prime. I mean, whatever happened. But we gotta judge you on how you perform in the ring. You know, we can't really make all these excuses. It's not like he was old and then past it. You know what I mean? He was in his prime. He was on top of his game. Barrera schooled him because he was a technically sound fighter, and Hamed wasn't. It was just like Roy Jones Jr., except not nearly as good.
Hamed was pumped up as well a bit in like the media sales and that. He was everything. He was a big pay-per-view fighter.
He was a good fighter. There's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? But he just wasn't elite. He was not elite.
Yeah, exactly.
He was very entertaining, though. I got it. You know what I mean? I can't say that.
Great fighter.
I can't say he was elite either. Clearly, because after he got spanked by Barrera, which after he lost that fight, all of the fans turned on him, like immediately after he lost.
That's British fans, though, mate. That's just British fans here.
It was horrible.
Is it because he lost or because he didn't come back from it? Which is it?
I think it's just because he lost.
He never had a fight. He had one fight and that was it, right? Did he have one fight back and then?
Yeah, he had some little bum fight and retired.
Yeah,
and he looked boring in that fight. It was against some Spaniard, I think, in Europe, and he was dancing and he wasn't really throwing that many shots, and it was just like you could tell the hunger wasn't there.
BDA, you're Mexican, right?
That's right.
Okay, so what do you think about everyone saying, "Oh, Mexican style doesn't have, or Mexicans can't fight in different variations of styles"?
I don't mind. I mean, that's people's opinions, you know. Like, if you've been watching boxing long enough, you know who Miguel Canto was, you know who Salvador Sanchez was, the Marquez brothers, Finito Lopez. I mean, the list goes on and on. If anybody wants to say that, that just shows me that they don't know much about boxing. It's like if somebody says, well, American fighters only fight going backwards, or English fighters are, upright and robotic. I mean, that's a narrow-minded point of view, and I don't mind it, to answer your question. I don't care.
I mean, Margarito is like the quintessential face-first brawler, right? But guys, go watch his fight against 154 against Roberto Garcia when he couldn't knock the guy out, and he started to dance around the ring and he clowned them. I mean, he looked like fucking Sugar Ray Leonard in there. He did, but nobody would have accused him of having that type of skill. And granted, he wasn't fighting the most skillful fighter out there, so you got to take that into consideration. But no one would have thought that Margarito could take a back step and he could dance around the ring and he could pop a jab and slip punches. No one thought he could do that, but he could. They just in my opinion, Mexican fans expect guts and glory from their fighters. Those are the Mexican fighters that make the most money, so they fight a certain way to cater, to satisfy a crowd, and to get the most glory. You know, someone like Miguel Vasquez and Zurdo, no one gives a fuck about those guys. They could stick and move. They could stink the joint out. Nobody gives a shit about them. It has nothing to do with skin color or nationality. It's what the fans want to see. It's supply and demand, basically.
Yeah, I'm only talking about like I mean, I don't know if you feel like Triple G is appropriating like the term Mexican style and like using it as an excuse for Canelo to just stand there and fight in the pocket. But I just think like the term gets overused when to me, Mexican fighters are probably, I don't want to make it a race thing, but if I'm looking at it from just out on the outside, I think Mexican fighters are probably one of the best in all races.
Historically,
that's racist. That's racist. That's racist. That's racist. That's racist. That's racist.
If you look at them as a whole, there's so many variations of them. You got Roberto Duran, like that's it's a solid grit fighter.
But he was Panamanian, well, half Panamanian.
Oh, all right, my bad.
No,
half Mexican.
He fought Mexican style though.
Yeah.
His mother was Mexican.
Yeah, his mother.
It's a marketing ploy. That's all that is. It's a marketing.
I was gonna say that. It's a marketing ploy. Everybody wants to get the Mexican market. Mayweather tried to get it fine in Cinco de Mayo in September. That's it, man.
You know why?
Where you from? Graphic, where you from?
Mexican fans support their boxers like no other race besides the British. The British are like they're diehard boxing fans.
Graphic, where you from?
Me?
Yeah, like what's your?
I'm Trinidadian. I'm Trinidadian.
Okay, you're from Trinidad, right? Okay. Yeah. Let's say you're from Trinidad, right? You're a boxer, or you do. Let's stick with boxing. You're a boxer.
Right.
For some reason, Puerto Rico was your biggest fan base. For whatever reason, Puerto Rico was your biggest fan base. Would you say, you know what? You know how I get down? I fight Puerto Rican style. Wouldn't that benefit you a little bit? Wouldn't that benefit you just a little bit, knowing that when you fight in the States, or if you fight in Puerto Rico, for some reason that country loves your style, sort of like adopted you,
I mean,
maybe when you fight a Puerto Rican fighter, it's sort of 50-50 or maybe even 60-40 in favor of the Puerto Rican, but you still got 40% of the Puerto Ricans going for you. Wouldn't you say things that would keep that fan base?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be like I'm fighting Puerto Rican style, but I'd be like, shout out to my Puerto Ricans, and I'd say thank you for supporting me, but maybe I wouldn't just like say I'm fighting Puerto Rican style. But
here's the most important.
I do understand what you're saying.
But here's the most important question: which Recognize didn't ask? Would you fake a Puerto Rican accent?
Oh, no.
Why not? See, you guys.
I don't think I can pull that off, honestly.
Let me tell you something. If I had Trinidad on my side, for whatever reason, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm going to Trinidad, and I fought a fighter, and they loved the way I fought, and they were like, you know what, I'm cheering for this guy. I'm shouting out Trinidad, and I'm going to be like, my style is Trinidadian style, okay? That's who I'm going to cater to. Hello. Especially when you come to this, to the States or to that country to fight. That's
right.
That's what
it's a symbiotic relationship. The Mexicans give Triple G money. He gives them what they want to see. Like, there's no need to overanalyze this shit. That's all that it is, man. And if you look at a lot of these Eastern Europeans, and then you look at Mexicans, stylistically, if you want to call that a style, they're about as aggressive as one another. Basically, it's just they come to fight. They come to fight. That's it.
Can I say something though?
Mexican style for Canelo, it's just trying to fuck with his head. That's all. When you have a foe in boxing or any combat sport, you fuck with their head. That's what you do.
I know this is off topic, but I just want to get all of your opinions.
You know what? I don't mind a little bit of doing that, of taking a stance or trying to play yourself off of something that you might not be 100% of just to get the money on the side. I mean, that's marketing. I mean, at a certain point, it does become sleazy. I'll tell you an example of something that makes me cringe. In MMA, I don't know how familiar you guys are with mixed martial arts, but Conor McGregor has come in and he's trash-talking the hell out of everybody, and he's the highest paid athlete in MMA right now. So I saw a video on YouTube. Somebody made a compilation called, I'm paraphrasing here the title, but it's called something like Fighters imitating McGregor or something, and they show you McGregor saying something, and then they show you other fighters trying to repeat verbatim the same thing, and it's just there's even Chris Weidman, the former middleweight champion, and he said something in a press conference, and then his opponent said, "Oh, McGregor just said that," and the guy like stays frozen for a couple of seconds, and then he goes, "Oh, he did? I didn't hear it." And you could tell he was lying. I'm thinking that is cringe-worthy when guys try to act a way that they're clearly. I mean, look, if you're gonna act and you're a good actor, fine. That's the point of acting. But if you're not pulling it off, it just comes across as cringeworthy.
that's what UFC is all about. Hype. They got to sell each fighter like just whatever to get the hype going.
Yeah, they're desperate now because they don't have a Brock Lesnar doesn't fight anymore. Georges St. Pierre, who knows if he's gonna fight? McGregor, who knows if he's gonna fight? He's got his own problems with the law now. John Jones turns out he's a cokehead and he's a very unstable person. So who knows if he's gonna come? So they need
a start now, but who get new stars? Don't worry, BDA.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Everybody always it's like with boxing. I remember Butch always talks about this. He's obsessed with it a little bit when. In 2006, Joe Rogan was talking about how boxing was dead. Even though Joe Rogan, since then, he admitted that he was just trying to rile DiBella on. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what people thought.
He was wrong, so now he's backtracking.
Yeah, that's true. That's a possibility right there. But when people say in 2006 De La Hoya was on the way out, Mayweather still wasn't the box office attraction that he went on to become. And so people were saying, well, once De La Hoya retires, what's going to happen? And then look what happened. Mayweather came in, then he tried to retire, and Pacquiao took his place. And now it's not Mayweather-Pacquiao level, but you got, Joshua Wilder potential mega fight. You have Canelo Triple G. They might still get it on. And somebody else, like Apology, I think that was your point, which is somebody always comes up.
Manny versus Floyd was both of their worst fights in their careers. That's my opinion. I think that fight was just horrible altogether. You guys agree or no?
Well, you're gonna
Floyd against Baldomir. Sort of. Mayweather against Baldomir was pretty bad too, though.
Mayweather versus anybody was pretty bad.
Now you're exaggerating, Precise. Precise likes to exaggerate.
Well, I mean, you got to make your point somehow.
All right, so
that's true.
Speaking of Floyd, where do you guys have him as the best ever or no?
Who? Mayweather?
Fuck no! Not even close.
No.
Why not?
Pacquiao kicked his ass for starters.
Okay, now wait a minute. No. We're not gonna get into
that. Pacquiao landed 80 punches out of 400.
No. Look, we're not debating. You ask my opinion. We're not debating. You ask my opinion. I'm just giving you my opinion, bro. You don't have to contest everything I say.
All right, but the point is, best ever. Again, we're getting back into the whole Precise made a very good point that I think we glossed over a little bit, which is this top 10 discussions or top 100, if you want to get into the history of boxing. It's extremely subjective because you can come out and say, well, this guy beat Mud Chop Williams in 1888, so that makes him the best man. And then I can say, well, yeah, but Mud Chop Williams was past his prime and he was fucking hookers. And it's like, we can go round and round. It's like a carousel. So, I mean, to say Mayweather is the best ever, look, I'm pretty sure somebody can come up with an argument. The guy was on what?
He went undefeated. That's a nice.
I don't even think Mayweather. I don't even think Mayweather is the best welterweight of all time. I'd pick a prime Sugar Ray Leonard to do a number on him. I'd pick Thomas Hearns to do a number on him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Thomas Hearns.
His dad might beat him. His dad might beat him. You never know, man.
I love Thomas Hearns, but I think Mayweather's got it in him to slip all that fucking bomb shit that he throws at him.
Mayweather can't fight coming forward, bro. Hearns would have just danced around him. Kept him at the end of that jab. No way. Have you ever seen anyone try to stick and move against Mayweather with the size advantage? No, because he cherry-picked his opponents not to fight those guys.
Mayweather could fight coming forward, though. Yeah, you can't say that.
Thomas Hearns.
No, he can't.
Thomas 130?
Thomas Hearns would be all wrong for Mayweather.
No, I'm not saying
Mayweather has the first thing about coming forward is cutting off the ring. Mayweather has no goddamn clue in the world how to cut the ring off. He can't fight coming forward.
He came forward versus Canelo.
Well, hold on.
Very few spots.
Well, hold on. I want to say something. I want to clarify.
Canelo threw a feint. Mayweather was all the way across the ring.
I want to clarify something. Mayweather can fight on coming forward, just like I can look like Julio Cesar Chavez against a guy that's never boxed before. The point is levels. Yes, Mayweather can fight coming forward. He did a very good job of beating up Judah on the inside, Chop Chop Corley, Shambra Mitchell. But we're talking about yeah, but we're talking.
That's the point, actually. I'll tell you what, I'd consider Mayweather an all-time great if he hadn't fought McGregor. And
but hold on,
we're talking everything that is to do with boxing.
That was a cherry on top, bro. Literally, that was the cherry on top.
I'm happy to let you know, say whatever you want about McGregor, Mayweather after that.
Cherry on top of a cherry pie, man.
You know, I'm starting to
cherry crust.
I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to see that Greg has that dry British sarcasm about him. I just realized that that's his main weapon here. But no, but listen, I wanted to get back to the Hearns versus Mayweather. If Mayweather tries to come forward against Tommy Hearns, that's Durant couldn't do it. He got blitzed into. If you were gonna come forward against Tommy Hearns, you better have had a good chin and inside boxing skills to do it. Marvin Hagler got hurt in the first round. Barkley was taking a beating before he got lucky with. I mean, not lucky, but I mean before he saved himself with that overhand right. So I don't see Mayweather being able to pull that off, man. I mean, and Sugar Ray Leonard, I forgot to mention.
You want to talk about Mayweather all-time great? We were talking featherweight here. You know what I mean? Keep him out of the welterweight division if you want to talk about
130.
Compare them. Yeah, 130. That's
130. Floyd Mayweather more likely.
Oh shit! Everybody, yeah, we just lost a bunch of people. They'll be coming back.
Are we talking about Mayweather with his fucking clenbuterol system or not?
What? Why do you say that?
Because
the one thing about Thomas Hearns.
Carry on, man.
Thomas Hearns has never been outboxed. Thomas Hearns has never been outboxed in his life. He was outboxing Sugar Ray Leonard in the first fight. You know, the Hagler fight, you can't really call that boxing. That was just a toe-to-toe war, you know. But he's never really been outboxed. His downfall is his chin. But Floyd Mayweather doesn't hit hard enough to fucking knock Thomas Hearns out for me. So the only chance Floyd has of winning that fight, and for me, I don't think he hits hard enough. And Thomas Hearns just all wrong for Floyd. So
Mayweather was
say this
great.
guy's the best ever.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Mayweather's great because he moved up a lot of weight and he competed at welterweight. That's his greatness. But to put him in the ring against all-time great natural welterweights, it's not going to end well for him. You know what I mean? He cherry-picked guys coming up in weight for a reason. They're old guys.
Now that you say that, can you name the boxers that he cherry-picked?
Gee, bro, everybody. And if he didn't cherry pick them, he made sure to take away their PEDs while juicing to the gills. He what? This is on record, bro. I don't know what you're laughing about. You know, he always made sure to undermine his opponents, choosing their gloves. Obviously, he always had the referee in his pocket. He had the judges in his pocket. So
he made a 21-year-old kid drain himself.
Hey, what's up?
Are you talking about Canelo?
That's a coward move, man.
Canelo was 22, 23 when Floyd made him go down to 152. Now, granted,
23, yeah, 23 he was.
Beat him regardless at that point, right? But he A-sided the fuck out of Canelo. He just did.
He should have fought 154.
What was the purpose of doing that? What was the purpose of dropping him down to 152?
Exactly.
To flex.
Because he already had fought at the full 154 limit.
If you look at that weigh-in, you see Canelo. He's sitting on a chair. He's not even standing up.
Dude,
while
you know
he's
what Andre Ward said?
I noticed there was no 152 catch. I noticed there was no 152 catch weights when the McGregor fight was on. You know, he didn't drain McGregor, but he sure drained Canelo.
Let me just say this really quick. I remember what Andre Ward said. Andre Ward said, Canelo looks dead. I'm picking Floyd to stop him in the later rounds. He was talking about the weigh-in. He said he looks dead. That doesn't look good.
Same with Corrales. Corrales was begging him to fight it with lightweight, and Floyd said, fuck no.
Yeah,
and
130.
Corrales' whole training camp was just to make weight, and then Floyd, he barely touched him. First good punch he lands on him, he knocks him down. I mean, the dude had a good chin, and Floyd, he was a big puncher at 130, but he was just touching the dude, and the dude was going down like just all kinds of flash knockdowns. Why? Because he had no legs.
Yeah,
he was drained as fuck. That was everything that Flomo's blamed Pacquiao for. Floyd did it.
So you're not absolving Pacquiao of his own misdeeds. You're just saying that's the way the A side tends to act.
Such as what misdeeds?
Pacquiao. Well, Cotto. I mean, come on, the Cotto catch weight could have fought at 147. Margarito. That was another catch.
He could have. He didn't want to do that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the A side, right? The A side tends to call the shots, and if a guy doesn't like it, he can walk away.
Right. I mean, look, but Cotto was not drained in that fight. Cotto had come up from a smaller weight. He was at 146 the fight before. Okay, I'm not saying he was 100%, but come on. Cotto looked strong in that fight, and it took Pacquiao landing like 30 power punches per round before he was finally able to wear him out and start knocking him down. I mean, that was not a drained fighter. When you look at Mayweather landing, the first good punch he lands on Corrales goes down. Miguel Cotto was walking through Pacquiao's shots, and it took an accumulation and punches he didn't see, bang on the chin, to finally put him down. And guess what? He kept getting up.
That's a good point.
I'm not saying Cotto was 100%, but to say that he was drained is a gross over-exaggeration.
So you don't think Manny Pacquiao took any peds to be able to go from like bantamweight all the way up to welterweight?
I've already made my my feelings known about that many times.
Yeah,
everyone's on PEDs, period. But the difference between Pacquiao and Mayweather is that Pacquiao did not take Mosley's PEDs away. Mayweather that Shane Mosley, an EPO, an anabolic steroid user, confirmed, was able to manhandle in the clinches Antonio Margarito, but in the next fight, Floyd Mayweather was manhandling Shane Mosley. How did that happen? Drug testing.
Well, there you guys have it. I mean, like Precise said, that's a road where we've been on for a long time. PEDs. In fact, Precise, if we just want to summarize his position, is that everybody should be allowed to take PEDs. Why not? I mean, and we could get into a whole giant conversation about that, but I
for sure think Roy Jones was on PEDs too. I'm not even gonna lie, but he was still amazing to watch.
Now you leave my Roy Jones alone. All right.
Well, he failed the test. That's well known. He was caught with fucking steroid testosterone levels of a fucking teenage gorilla, man.
A teenage gorilla. All right. Before we continue, I want to welcome Foulpole to the Hangout. Foulpole, are you there?
Yeah, what's going on?
How you doing, man?
What's up?
Good.
Thanks
for having me on.
This isn't the first time we've had you on, is it? I forget.
It is the first time.
Oh, it is? Okay, all right. Well, good to have you on the show.
The chat trolling.
Yeah, I've seen you in the chat for a long time. Thank you for being on. By the way, did Graphic just bounce? Yeah, all right. Well, before we continue, I want to thank Graphic for jumping on. I thought he was gonna troll, but he actually, he went at it with you guys. So shout out to Graphic. Thanks for joining, and you're welcome anytime, man. Because once the discussion veered away from Lomachenko and pound for pound ratings, it actually turned into a good, overall decent discussion about boxing. I enjoyed it. So
let's be real.
Just for the record, I like the guy. I enjoyed the conversation. Just for the record.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems a nice enough guy, but let's be real. He got totally destroyed tonight.
All right, he's not here anymore.
He got totally destroyed.
All right.
Regarding Mayweather,
he did.
Couldn't he have become the undisputed champion if he had fought Kell Brook?
Yep.
He didn't want that fight. So Brook would have beaten him.
Nah, Mayweather would have beaten Brook.
Nah, Mayweather's way too old at that point.
At that point, I agree with Apology, man. I think at that point, Kell Brook would have been too strong for him.
He would have been undisputed. He had a chance to become undisputed at 140 had he fought Kostya Tszyu.
Oh, yeah. I keep mentioning that, man.
But he wanted Arturo Gatti for some reason.
I mean,
legacy, bro.
This fucking Floyd Mayweather, he can get a conversation That's like the ace in the game for anybody that does a boxing podcast. If the conversation starts to lag or whatever, that's when you pull out Floyd Mayweather and you ask the question TBE, and all of a sudden watch everything go into flames. Listen,
I've been watching some channels and they're making these videos about Wilder, and the question of in the title is like, Wilder 50-0. What would that imply?
That anybody
Nothing. Shit.
fighting bums.
Like they're examining this possibility, man. What does it mean?
You shit.
Boxing is shit. Oh man.
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you this, man.
People looking at records.
Least resistance, you could go undefeated.
Well, isn't there a guy that just went undefeated?
Yeah, the minimum weight just 50-0.
Yeah, the 50-0 guy. I think Michael Stott wanted us to talk about him for some reason, but yeah, 50 and the guy went 50-0, but against who? I mean, it's like, you know, Chavez was, what was he, 89-0 before he lost?
Yep.
But
89-0.
But those first 50 or something like that, they were nobody. I mean, there might have been tough guys. I don't know. You know, when you're fighting in Tijuana for $50 a fight every 3 weeks, you're gonna end up fighting some real tough. I think it was.
How many?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, recognize.
No, I was gonna say out of those. I'm sorry, man. Out of those 89, off the top of my head, maybe there's like 3 fighters that he fought there with maybe Hall of Fame potential. You know, like the Hall of Fame namers. And off the top of my head, I can't even think of. I can't even think of them. And I was a huge Chavez fan. Huge Chavez, still am. One of the best fighters that I thought ever did it. Still, but you know, it goes to show you that when you fight, he went 89-0. He, you know, that's the real record. When I hear the he's 50-0. Okay, you mean if he retires and he never fights again? Okay, fine. Then he went 50-0. That was this whole record of going 50-0, 49-0, whatever. It's a heavyweight record. It's always been.
Yeah, to shit that record anyway. Because you look at Lomachenko, he'll never be able to get that record.
Correct.
Because somebody whacked him in the bollocks for fucking 6 times.
Well, if I was Lomachenko, what I would do is I would start fighting every 3 weeks for the next 2 years. Just fight bums, or maybe sprinkle in a good name in there, just to get that to 50-0. Because that's very important, man. That number, very important. I don't think you should get into the Hall of Fame unless you get to 50-0. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I often am, but who the fuck gives a you know? By the way,
that 50-0 shit is for guys who can't beat any legitimate records. You know what I mean? But they could orchestrate their career to a point where they can maybe touch that shit. You know what I mean? That's just, if you ain't losing, you ain't fighting the people you're supposed to be fighting. You know what I mean?
Well said. Well said. I mean, look, if we want to go back to Mayweather, and then I want to jump to Joe Calzaghe, but Floyd Mayweather went on a very good run when he started his career, man. Hey, the guy took on Genaro Hernandez very early on in his career, and then he took on Angel Manfredi, who had beaten Ivan Robinson and Arturo Gatti. So Floyd got to a very good start. He took on Castillo as well, even though I don't think he beat him the first time. And then when he got to welterweight, that's when the business side really started to get in the way. But he started off on the right track, man. Very good, and he's got some good wins. Let's not be mischievous about or distorted, but
it's so tainted. Even the good wins are kind of tainted.
Right,
like Pacquiao, Conor, like common Floyd, man.
Yeah,
man, I like Mayweather, man. I think he's one of the better defensive boxers of the era. I think a lot of young boxers coming up now are going to be watching his fights to, learn how to slip and move back.
God, I hope not, bro. I really hope. You're right. You're right.
But to watch, but I think he needs some credit for the way he avoided it, all the punishment he was due.
Yeah, but see, I don't.
No,
go ahead, man. I talk too much anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't want to see another burner.
No.
He ran, dude. He's not a great defense.
How can you win a fight with only defensive skills?
Look, like the whole thing about Floyd's defense is he gets out of position to be able to avoid punches. And that's great when you don't want to get knocked out. But once you're out of position, you can't come back with anything. So not only is Floyd Mayweather's defense overrated, his counter-punching ability is as well. Because if you're constantly getting out of position, you ain't countering shit. You know, so look, any idiot, and I'm being real here, any idiot could just lay on the ropes and concentrate on avoiding punches, and they're going to be half decent, maybe great at it, if that's all they concentrate on. But if you ain't actually trying to win the fight or capitalize off slipping the punch, then that's not technically great defense. Being defensive and having good defense don't always go hand in hand. That's what I'm going to say about it. But I don't disagree with your assessment. I mean, it does take some kind of skill to do what Mayweather did. However, if you double up on your punches, like throw 2 left hooks in a row, or you throw 2 jabs in a row, or you throw your punches off rhythm, you basically nullify Floyd Mayweather's defense. It's just that he fought guys who just went left, right, left, right, left, right, and Floyd Mayweather went left, right, left, right, left, right. And sorry, but to someone who really knows what they're looking at, that's not that impressive. Maidana nullified all that shit. Why? Because he staggered his punches and he didn't throw left after the right in always in succession. He doubled up on either hand. So I don't know.
Well, I'll say that you can work on both defense and offense. I mean, you take a look at Terence Crawford. The guys, I think he's very good at putting offense, mixing in offense with defense. He makes you miss, he makes you pay. You know, but there are fighters that they're just focused solely on the defensive, and then there's fighters that are focused solely on defensive. It's like everything. If boxing is really the ultimate representation of Buddhism, the middle path, you know, the middle way. You have to mix in a little bit of everything. Otherwise, because, I mean, listen, best example, Paulie Malignaggi. He had fast hands, he was moving around the ring a lot, but if you were outboxing him the way Amir Khan did, what was he gonna do? He couldn't out-muscle you. He couldn't work his way on the inside. He didn't really know how to fight on the inside. I mean, look, the guy's a very good fighter, Golden Gloves and all that when he was an amateur, and a title at least, you know, in the pro ranks. But you have to do a bit of both. You have to concentrate. You can't just work defense, because then if a guy outboxes you and you don't have the offense to back it up and put it on him, that's when you're done. I mean, I don't know if I'm just repeating verbatim what Precise said, but I wanted to get back to the issue of, because we're talking about records and how if you want to, you can pretty much disavow a guy's record if you really are set on it. And the main example of that is Joe Calzaghe. He ended his career at close to 50-0. What was it? 45-0? Was it 40? No, actually 46-0. 32 knockouts.
46-0, yep.
Yeah, 46-0 for a long time. And this was pre-YouTube and all that, so we couldn't really watch the fights, Calzaghe's fights here in Canada, unless they showed him on pay-per-view or something. But for a long time, he was fighting in England, and the magazines and the websites, they were all saying that he was fighting a bunch of European bums. He wasn't good enough. He was overrated. Finally, he takes on Jeff Lacey. We all know how that ended up, even though Jeff Lacey was everybody thought he was going to walk through Calzaghe. And then Calzaghe ended up getting a good win over Kessler, Hopkins, and Roy Jones, albeit 2 past their prime all-time greats. So where does everybody stand on Calzaghe? Do you go
sorry, bro. Was Kessler before Jeff Lacey?
It was after.
After.
It was after, was it?
Yeah.
Kessler was right before his American tour, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So where does everybody stand on Joe Calzaghe? I mean,
that Kessler win,
very good fighter.
Well, people underestimate that. People underestimate that Kessler win. It was a very, very good Kessler. That weren't the Kessler that fought Andre Ward. That was far from the Kessler that fought Andre Ward. That Kessler was a fucking dangerous guy that Calzaghe beat in his prime. So you have to give him. He's got some good wins. The thing is, a lot of people knock Calzaghe's resume because, like you said, because there weren't YouTube communities back then, and the internet, a lot of these fighters Calzaghe was fighting, they didn't really know about, but they were good fighters. I mean,
Calzaghe is the best. He's the best super middleweight fighter. I know it's a young division, but he's the best super middleweight fighter in the history of boxing.
Not Andre Ward.
Yeah, I agree.
Fuck Andre Ward, man.
I'm just asking.
Roy Jones only fought twice, I think, at super middleweight. I think 2 or 3. So you can't put him up.
He's like athletic. He's power puncher. You know, come on, guys.
Yeah,
yeah, but you can't put a guy that's had 3 fights in a division as the greatest ever in that division. I think he had 2 fights. I'm not sure.
Calzaghe is ridiculously underrated. You know why? Because he's fucking Welsh.
Yeah, fuck the Welsh. Huh?
Wait a minute.
I mean, how old was Eubank when he beat Eubank as well? You couldn't even say Eubank was over the hill when he beat Eubank. He wasn't that
Wasn't
old.
he the underdog in that fight? Wasn't he supposed to lose to Eubank?
Yeah, didn't he take that fight like in 2 or 3 weeks?
He was meant to be. What happened was he was meant to be fighting Steve Collins. He was meant to be. He was meant to be fighting Steve Collins, and Steve Collins pulled out, I think, a week or 2 before the fight, and Chris Eubank took the call and stepped in. So it weren't the best Eubank you're going to get, and he was probably past his best. But Chris Eubank to this day says Calzaghe was the best guy he's ever fought.
And he asked to go to the hospital after he fought Nigel Benn as well.
Yeah.
Now here's a
hospital,
question,
please.
Here's a question for you, Brits, because I've always heard this, and I don't know if it's true or not, but is it true that Joe Calzaghe used to be a more powerful puncher, but then he had trouble with his hands, and that's why he reverted to that like slapping type style of punching?
Yeah, but he used to wrap his own hands, but he didn't know how to do it properly. His hand, he'd take his gloves off after a fight, and the wraps would be unwrapped in his gloves. So he used to break his hands a lot, and he had to. So that's how he started slapping. I think you know, taking some of the force off the shots and slapping a little bit because his hands were fucked. Let's be real, amateurish stuff really. When you're a world champion and you're not even wrapping your hands properly, I mean, I don't think fighters will get away with that today.
Only a Welshman. Only a Welshman.
Maybe Canelo.
Maybe Canelo. And by the way, do the Welsh have Irish blood in them? Is there an interconnection there, or
no?
Not at all.
Nah, they're Celts. They are Celts,
right?
They're classed as Celts, but the Welsh have got their own.
Because I was gonna say
the Welsh have got their own culture and language.
Right. Because I was gonna say
they used to paint themselves blue and shit.
They've got their own. They've got their own language, the Welsh. If you heard the Welsh language, it's quite a funny language. When you go to Wales, they've got road signs and in 2 different languages, the Welsh and English. So it's like going to a different country when you go to Wales. They certainly don't like the English there very much.
I wonder why. Do you guys bring
Who
up
likes the English?
Your fry-ups? Because you bring your fry-ups over there and you try to ram it in people's faces all the time. Have a fry-up, mate. But by the way, okay, that was Australian. Was that?
Fry-ups are really nice. You should try it.
I'm joking about the fry-ups. I'm sure they're delicious.
I'll tell you what, mate. The best breakfast in the world. You have your fucking snobby croissants over in Canada. We'll have our English breakfast.
Tell him, Steve.
Yeah, that's right. I'll put up croissants against black pudding any day of the week, my friend.
I'll put maple syrup. Is it maple syrup?
Yeah, maple syrup. Ugh, I hate that.
The thing is, though, no one I know who has a full breakfast has black pudding on. No one wants that shit. In Scotland they do, and places like that, but no one likes black pudding over here. It's horrible stuff.
Hey,
why the hell do they still serve it?
If you have a fry at round mine, you definitely
Yeah, precise. That's a good question. Why
it's
do
just part of the breakfast if you want it? Because it's just part of the breakfast if you want it. It's more of a Scottish thing, I think.
So if it was a piece
do
of shit,
all the British breakfast places have like a gang of pigs in the back or something? just to eat that shit. I mean, who eats it?
What?
You know what? We're here kidding around about the British fry-up. I want to try it because it looks delicious. I'm not kidding. But I am just shitting on it. But speaking of the most disgusting,
it is, bro. I tell you what, especially sausages. You get some like fucking sausages from Cumberland or Leicestershire sausages from England, mate. Unbelievable. With a nice bit of Danish bacon, Heinz baked beans, couple of eggs, bit of fried bread. My mouth's watering thinking about it, bro.
Oh my goodness! Don't start eating fry-ups right now, because then we're gonna hear you munching all over. But speaking of,
late for one now.
You know what really does, and I'll eat a fry-up. Why not? It's not that far off from cuisine here in Canada. But I tell you what, I will never eat. Have you guys heard of, and I hope you haven't, queso podrido?
Yes.
Katsu. Actually, it's called katsu marzu.
Oh, the Italian cheese?
Yeah. That's a cheese.
Japanese.
It's Japanese. Precise?
What is it?
No, it sounded Japanese the way you said it.
Okay. No, it's apparently, I don't know, maybe it could have come from, some people say that pizza came from China and not from Italy. But anyway, if you look at the screen, there it is.
Pizza's American.
No, it's not. Well, maybe. I didn't want to talk about pizza. I want to talk about katsu marzu, which is a cheese that they leave outside. They leave it there to get rotten, and that it has maggots on. And then the maggots start eating the cheese, and supposedly that adds a texture to the cheese that is supposed to be delicious, exquisite, they call it. And but
BDA, the only podcast you go from calzone to calzone.
First of all, that's a good one, but we're not talking about calzones. We're talking about katsu marzu.
It's not a pizza.
Calzones is so nice. Like,
it is.
It looks good. I bet you it's good for you. I bet you it's very healthy.
I sense a little sarcasm there from Precise. I don't know if I'm.
No,
I'm
no,
unsure.
100% real. I'm not fucking around, man. All that like fermented, moldy, rotting stuff. That's all good gut bacteria, man. All that.
Oh, you're talking about the cheese. You're talking about the.
I reckon the moldier the cheese, the better.
That's what they say, but it must taste like ass.
It probably does taste like a locker room, though.
That's what I'm saying. Ugh. And you know the most crazy thing is that they say that when you eat it, you have to be careful because the maggots can jump in your eyes, and then you get a host of other problems there. So, but
maggots don't jump, bro.
That's what they said. That's what I saw in the documentary. They'll jump in your eyes, man. I think they're Italian maggots. That's why the Italian maggots, they can jump.
I think they're probably delicious, to be honest with you.
They're diving. If they're Italian maggots, they must be diving, not jumping.
Oh, Stu with a home run right there. Stu kicks and he scores.
Against Italians.
Well, you know what? We're not going to be able to see if the Italians dive this World Cup because they're not in it. Sorry. I always want to see Italy in the World Cup, but... Was that?
Is that no racist?
I'm racist.
That's racist.
Yeah.
So what? What are you going to do about it, asshole?
Oh, Gaia, defending me for the first time in a long time.
I'll come around and punch that piece of shit in the face.
No. I don't understand that. I mean, I do understand the hostility against Gaia, but it's just, it's a fucking computer. What do you want? Why are you getting so obsessed over it?
It won't take over the world, don't worry.
Yeah, we covered that over in Second Renaissance. It ain't gonna be taking over the world anytime soon. Alright. By the way, apology, what's it called? Gaia 500 wants to tell you something.
I mean, I'm only kidding with you. We're having a party. I mean, I just came home. I haven't seen you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you.
Yeah, alright, so... He's
cool now.
Alright. Well,
apparently there was a rumor that Eddie Hearn saw that $50 million. But it's not even true because I searched and I didn't find it. I know. I didn't just gonna point that out. I didn't see any articles that mentioned that Eddie Hearn saw the money. So
here comes the
I got Bellew.
Yeah, because that was Nez's answer to it was him trying to save face with the interview sort of thing. Because he was saying, well, look, I got it right in the end, but what about the other 25 things that you got wrong during that interview? I mean, it's not saved, you know. Do you know what I mean?
No,
that wasn't the point.
Let's be real. This Wilder Joshua thing is starting to fucking bore the shit out.
It's annoying as hell,
I'll get to the stage where I don't even want to watch this fight.
Yeah, it's fucking
like Precise says. No, Precise said like, I wish the fight doesn't happen just so these people can shut up.
Honestly, man, I hope they drag about another 2 years. They don't make this fight.
Yeah, fuck it.
I tell you what, I'd rather watch Fury Povetkin than Wilder Joshua. I'd rather watch that fight.
Povetkin's got nothing to lose, has he? So he'll go for it.
Yeah, Fury Povetkin would be a better fight. Trust me.
Don't go hiding AJ now. Come on. Don't be hiding AJ. Fury.
Well, you know,
Fury.
if you want AJ, you're gonna have to go through Dillian White. You know the score.
No, he's next in line.
He's like
AJ fights Wilder next, or he has to fight Povetkin. That's the way I understand it.
From the way I understand it, AJ looks like he's more interested.
I want to see
Wilder.
I'll take Dominic Brazil.
Oh, that's Wilder's next victim.
I think I'm.
Yeah, it is. It's already done.
Fight. That shit was done in that Alabama hotel, bro.
Yeah,
you know that shit was done back then.
That's why they don't want to sit down with Eddie Hearn, because they already have a fight with Brazil, but they want to make people believe like, oh, we tried to make the fight with Joshua, but it didn't work out. Blah blah blah. It's like, it's bullshit.
That situation with Brazil starting to look like it was staged.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, now it makes sense.
What I tell you, by the way, I don't know if you guys talked. You probably did cover it already. I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there. Bellew for the win.
Bellew for the win.
That's right. You heard it here.
Well, I mean,
wait,
why?
Why betting? Okay, wait. If you were a betting man, Precise, what would you bet on?
I think there's a probability that if it goes 12, they're gonna job Bellew and try to push a trilogy.
Oh my goodness!
But
man,
no, I don't mind the fight. I don't see. Look, whatever. You guys don't like it, don't want to see it. That's fine. But to me, as two guys that are more or less on the same level, it's going to be competitive. It's going to be good. I like the fight. It is what it is. I don't see much of a future for either guy in the heavyweight division, but that's not what that fight is about.
Wait a minute. That's what I said. That's what I said in the beginning of the podcast. Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No one
it's a good
cares,
fight.
BDA.
What's that?
No one cares, BDA.
Oh.
Go ahead, Precise.
Yeah, I'm picking Bellew. I think David Haye is a con man. I'm not sold on the whole injury thing. Look, I'm not saying he wasn't compromised in the first fight, but David Haye is a liar, and whatever he says, I just think the opposite. And Bellew's he's the more skillful guy, man. I gotta go with the more skillful guy. David Haye has possibly corruption on his side, and he has a puncher's chance, but that's it. Bellew got the boxing skill to beat him again, and I think it's going to happen.
Bellew 12 rounds? Is that what you're saying?
It really depends on how David Haye comes out, but I think the fight might go the distance. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I think Bellew beats him, period, because it's just better.
All right, so let's get a round of predictions here because we haven't done it officially. Apology, let's start with you. Who are you picking, Bellew or Haye?
Bellew.
Decision, knockout, TKO?
Decision.
All right, there you have it. Bellew decision.
I hope he wins.
I'm going to say late TKO just to be on the record.
Late TKO, all right. Falpo?
Oh, shit.
Falpo, are you there?
It's a hard fight to pick. It's a hard fight to pick. I mean, you got to look at, do I go for the Bellew stoppage? Well, Tony Bellew, he struggled to get a one-legged David Haye out of there. So with David Haye with 2 legs, the likelihood is it's going to go 12 rounds. I mean, it's whether Tony Bellew gets caught with a shot clean from David Haye. If that happens, then David Haye is going to win by knockout. But like Precise said, Tony Bellew is very underestimated when it comes to boxing skills. He knows how to avoid a shot, and he's a very good. What's the word? He works out a fight very quickly, and yeah, that's the word. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Do you know what I mean? He understands the sweet science, shall I say?
Yeah, I mean,
a slick man.
That's what. Wait, hold on a second. What did you say?
Slick.
He says
Greg,
slick.
Fat.
Everybody's jumping in against me today. What's going on here?
Boo him out.
Now wait a minute.
You don't have any idea of the facts. I've been this way since I was born. I'd argue with a goddamn rock and then try to beat it up.
That's right. Just because I'm middle of the road on this show doesn't mean I can't argue with you motherfuckers 24/7, all right? So keep trying my patience. Okay, so Greg, what did you say? You think Bellew by...
No, I said Bellew slick and I was talking shit.
Okay, yeah. No,
honestly,
but who are you picking? Who are you picking?
Isn't David Haye, isn't he promoter for Joe Joyce anyway?
That's a good question.
Yeah. So he's probably going to be too busy to the build-up to be preparing for this fight because he's got his golden little chicken that he's trying to hatch. That he'll get into the ring like a man with a hangover, and he probably won't last 3 rounds. And then he'll crawl out, and Joe Joyce will probably get knocked out by the Jamaican fella, and he'll have to go out and look after Joe Joyce. So he'll crawl out the ring after the 3rd round and go, "Hold on a minute."
Whoa!
Joyce is going to smash him. Joyce will smash this dude.
Well, either way that fight goes, fucking David Haye's fight is not in a fighter's mind. He's in a promoter's mind.
Yeah.
All right. So
to me, he's talking like a loser already. So just
it's Bellew TKO. I think the fight gets stopped. He has some sort of weird injury or something.
That's my prediction.
that's been David Haye for the last 7 years, hasn't it? It's just been.
Didn't this fight get postponed? Didn't the fight get postponed because of David Haye injury?
Hurt his bicep.
So he's coming off 2 injuries as of late, not in his entire career, but as of late he's coming off 2 serious injuries.
I don't rate Haye that much anyway. I mean, who did he beat? Value with a big fucking giant steroid retard.
What is he? 37? Come on,
38.
Oh shit!
I think yeah,
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, yeah,
I think.
What's that in Cuban years?
Tony Bellew. Bellew's not like I don't like to say the word slick. Bellew's not slick, but he's quite a clever boxer. But I think he's underestimated. I think people underestimate Tony Bellew's boxing ability. He can look a bit fucking wild at times, and you know, and he can stink the joint out. He's done it many times, but I think he's improved quite a lot. I think as he at cruiserweight, he seems to have improved quite a lot. Him and Bellew Jack are the most improved guys in boxing for me, from what they used to be. That's for sure.
That's true, man. Bellew, again, I know we don't like to use the word slick, or at least I don't, but he's, like I was telling Bucho and other people here in the beginning of the show, he's got very good upper body movement. He rolls with the right hand.
He sees the shots coming, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He took away David Haye's right hand.
He knows the game, doesn't he?
He knows the ropes. All right, go ahead, Recognize.
I got Bellew by decision. I think Haye is just finished.
All right, so we got Foulpool. Foulpool, he has Bellew by decision. Recognize, did we get your prediction?
No, but it's I think it's pretty easy. I got Bellew winning by stoppage. I think his toe will give out, his leg will give out, or his arm injury, something will give out. And Haye's best moments are done. That's it. His best moment was Chisora when he beat him up outside the ring and he beat him in the ring.
I love that joke. All right.
Got Bellew by late round stoppage.
Whoa, okay, another stoppage. Bucho, I think you agree with Greg's prediction.
Yeah, well, actually, maybe I'm going to change it up. Like, he's going to have some arm injury, and then he's going to be fighting only with one arm, and then he's going to go 12 rounds, and he's going to lose. But there will be an injury. There will be an injury, and he's going to claim that he lost a limb or something. I don't know.
he lost a testicle.
But if you're betting this shit, man, you got to consider Haye in the first 6 rounds, I would say. But after that, it's all over.
Yeah. Even that precise, man. I don't know, because in the first fight, I saw David Haye that was very slow. I mean, he was missing with every fucking shot.
Yeah.
Right.
But then again, he came at lighter now. So I think he knows that he was a bit heavy in the first fight. So he's going to try to do box in this fight. But can he really? Like somebody said, like, he has no fucking jab, man. He can't box.
No jab. Can't cut the ring off.
All right. And Stu, I think you said Bellew, right?
Yeah, I'm going for Bellew points.
All right, Bellew on points. I got to tell you guys, it's really interesting how prior to the fight, I was picking David Haye because I thought, hey, if Stevenson could take Bellew out, then imagine what Haye's going to do. But David Haye is too wild, man. And now everybody's picking. Now that everybody's picking Bellew, I'm gonna go with Haye. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna pick Haye. I'm gonna go with Tony Bellew. By again, I'll agree with Greg and with Bucho. I think something weird is gonna happen. I think it's gonna be a weird stoppage, and I think it might have something to do with Haye, saying he's got a little boo boo. Maybe this time it's not the pinky toe. Maybe this time it's the big toe, or it's his. I don't know. It's his scrotum. I don't know. But he's gonna come up with something, and I think he's gonna quit. That's my prediction.
Heart failure.
Congestive. Congestive. Congestive.
Run out of feeding.
What's that?
Joe Joyce will need a bottle, and he'll need to run out and feed him.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Are you just trolling?
No, I'm deadly serious.
Oh shit.
Stu, do the oxygen masks come on for this one?
Yeah.
For who?
I don't know. Keep it a secret. Keep it a secret.
Hey.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say wheelchair. Wheelchair for me.
By the way, David Haye can't quit. I mean, that would be just embarrassing, no?
Well, he did quit the first time, right?
Yeah, don't be
multiple times.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I wouldn't be surprised. I was just going to say I wouldn't be surprised if the Timothy Bradley wheelchair came out.
Yeah, that was the dumbest thing. He broke both ankles, Timothy. I mean, how did he keep? I'm not even going to bother. Speaking of bothering, I forgot to mention. I don't know. It's not a big fight, but I think it's an interesting one. Paul Butler is going to be fighting on the Haye versus Bellew undercard. He's 26-1 with 14 knockouts. He looks pretty good, man. He's part of that British style that defies the British style. He's fighting a little bit like, hands down, Calzaghe style. He's going to be taking on Emmanuel Rodriguez. I think he's Puerto Rican or Dominican, living in Puerto Rico, I forget. He's 17-0 with 12 knockouts. It's for the vacant IBF title in the bantamweight division. I just had to throw the title in there just for you to know that if you care about those things. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting filler fight prior to the main event. Anybody going to keep an eye on that one?
Oh, I didn't bother putting it in my accumulator because I can't call it.
You can't what?
50-50.
Oh.
Yeah, Paul Butler's a decent fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He is a decent fighter.
Who's the only person to beat him? I remember the name. Who beat him? Was it Joshua?
Teti.
Is that right?
Wait. Oh, wait. I thought this was a heavyweight division. My bad.
No, we were talking bantamweights.
I thought there was a Paul Butler in the heavyweight division, but
well, there might be.
Paul Butler has one defeat to Teti where he got destroyed.
Oh, really?
Teti's a good fighter, isn't he? Paul Butler was too small for that. He should never be. He had no business in that division. So,
well, he's still fighting.
We'll see. I mean, he's a decent fighter. I don't really know a lot about Rodriguez, the Puerto Rican or Dominican, whatever you want to call him.
Oh.
But, a lot of people are calling it a 50-50 fight. So we'll see.
Is he
both Dominican and Puerto Rican?
Yeah, you gotta watch out if you call a Puerto Rican Dominican or vice versa. They don't tend to like that, right? Recognize?
Oh yeah. Some of the old school Puerto Ricans or Dominicans, you call them Puerto Rican Dominican. No, papa. I'm not Dominican, okay?
Hey, by the way, recognize? Can you pinpoint the difference between a Puerto Rican accent and a Dominican Republic accent?
Oh, of course. Dominicans are fast. Oye, papa, ¿cómo está? ¿Dónde está? Vámonos por acá. Puerto Ricans are more like country, Oye, ¿dónde yo puedo contar una arroz con habichuela y pollo? Dominicans are fast. They're like,
what about Cuban?
Pollo y plátano.
Plátano. Yeah, what about, Butch is asking, what about Cuban?
Cubans are like Puerto Ricans. They got the same mellow accent. There's like, everything is bueno. Cuando yo estaba peleando, yo me sentía bien, pero cuando me daba con ese puño, se acabó la pelea.
I'll tell you what, man. A lot of Cubans, I think they talk with the Puerto Rican accent, like you said, but they also have the tonality of Nigerians. They always talk like this. Like they're old. Yeah, but like Rigandao, Gambo, they all sound older than what they. I mean, maybe they.
if you look at the let's say the black Puerto Ricans and the black Cubans, they're pretty much the same people. Pretty much the same. That's why they kind of sound alike. Yeah.
Right.
But now, if you go to Puerto Rico, there's a lot of Dominicans, more Dominicans now. Besides Puerto Ricans, obviously, there's more Dominicans.
That's trouble for the Puerto Ricans right there.
I don't know what it is, but something about that statement was just abhorrently racist.
Whoa, wait a minute. No, I'm saying Puerto Ricans and Dominicans don't tend to get along.
I can't quite put my finger on it, but my mind's telling me racism. Racist.
What are you doing?
What do you
what
mean
the hell are you doing?
in Puerto Rico? What do you mean?
What?
I'm just saying they don't get along, the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans. This is all something that these are all things.
It's overblown. It was in the beginning.
I think it's over plantains.
Oh,
yeah.
Now wait a minute.
It's better plátanos.
Yeah.
I tell you something. All I know about New York.
Puerto Ricans who didn't like the Mexicans.
No, that's in
sure.
boxing. That's just boxing, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And Curie High
School. A little bit overblown though with the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. No. Like I have a son with a Dominican girl, you know.
Right.
Well, it's all good.
What the hell was that? Apology just went like he was really enjoying.
You know what they call a Puerto Rican and Dominican?
Oh, what?
A dumb Rican.
Oh, now see that type of that was just because you're Puerto Rican and you have a kid with a Dominican.
Right?
I'm telling you, this podcast has gone to hell. All right, listen. Before we get shut down by the YouTube brigade, I think we've been at this for 3 hours and a half. We're gonna be back tomorrow after the David Haye fight. I wanted to talk about the bantamweight division because again, Paul Butler's gonna be fighting tomorrow, and I think this bantamweight division is starting to shape up. But anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow after the fight, and we'll preview a little bit something we didn't preview, which is Golovkin Martirosyan. I mean, I know we've talked about it before, but hey, we might have some new things to talk about tomorrow. I want to thank everybody that showed up on the Hangout, as always. Stu Little, Recognize the Matrix, Precise, Greg, Foul Boxing, Apology, Cameron. And by the way, Cameron, I know, I got to reiterate, you felt you weren't getting your share in. It was a very heated conversation at some point. There was no need to just fly off, you know, like Butcher said. If you feel like you're not getting your time in, just tell us and that goes for everybody. Just tell us on instant message on Hangouts, and we'll accommodate you. But sometimes we get lost enjoying the conversation as well, and we forget to moderate. All right, but just let us know in the Hangout, and we'll work it out. We'll get you in. All right. Don't forget also to check out Recognize the Matrix channel. Check out Precise channel. Greg, do you have a channel?
No.
All right. Falpo, do you have a channel?
I want to do a quick shout out.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Apology Man and Avengers. It was a great film.
Oh really?
Yeah, it really was.
We should have a
guys
podcast soon.
Watch it right now.
Don't spoil it.
Watch it right now
for people.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Butcher, since when do you watch superhero movies?
No, I don't watch it, but there were people complaining because there was some guy spoiling the whole movie in the chat. So.
All right, Apology.
Where do you rank it amongst the Marvel films?
All of, better than all of them. Great. Have we got another hour and a half, and we can talk about it?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, BDA?
Well, if I tell you this, though, if there's enough response from people that want to join, by the way, was there any hardcore fucking in that movie, or?
Yeah, Hulk fucks like several women.
Is that right?
That's cool, man.
Then I might check it out.
Thanos rapes everybody, literally.
All right, now see that you went overboard with that joke right there. A little too on PC for my taser. Apology. I gotta say.
The only superhero movie I'm looking forward to is Deadpool.
Is that right?
It's fucking funny.
I haven't even seen any of them. I mean, I'm not denigrating them, but
Deadpool v Haye too.
What's that?
Yeah, but this movie.
Sorry, Apology Man. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, this movie was pretty funny. So, Breacher, if you like Deadpool, you probably like this.
All right. sorry to interrupt here, but we'll do a podcast on that if there's enough people that want to talk about it. But the problem is I'm going to have to stay quiet. Well, actually, maybe that's why you wouldn't do the podcast, so I stay quiet. And you don't have to
do a second Renaissance or something.
Yeah, second Renaissance one. Because I haven't seen any of those movies, so I wouldn't. But if you guys want to do it, I'll set it up. Why not? Just real quick, Pavel says, BDA Boxing, if you're going to go live tomorrow, I'm going to jump in. Yes, jump in and give us the lowdown on that investigation that you did for... he went undercover or something, Pavel, and he says he's got some information. We'll see. I don't know if he's trolling or if he's serious, but I want to say... By the way, they were also having a good conversation in the chat room about fermented food products and how that is sensational for your gut. And they were also talking about cutting out sugar. 100%. And it's hard, man, when you go to the convenience store, the grocery store, and everything's got sugar, the bread, the cereal. Sometimes it even seems like the vegetables have sugar in them. But yeah, man, we could have we could have a second Renaissance discussion about nutrition. I know, Precise, you wanted to do one on vegans, and that's again, we could cover that as well in that episode.
Right on.
All right. Precise, mute your mic, please. Mute your mic, please. Precise. Oof, that was rough on the ears. All right. So
that wasn't me making chocolate milk.
Oh yeah, that was. And also, I want to thank Greg. Recognize and apology for the generous contributions. You guys, every little bit counts, so don't be afraid, don't be shy. Throw a couple of bucks in there on the super chat if you feel the need, or go to our, how do you say it, Bucho? Patreon. All right, Patreon. And
you get one of those set up.
Yeah, we have it, but it's not 100% complete. It should be completed by Sunday, I guess.
Yeah, we just need to figure out. We just need to figure out if
the awards.
Yeah, the awards and what we can
do. Do it, lads, honestly.
All right.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Cool, man. Good to hear.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know when it's ready, though.
All right. So again, guys, thank you for joining us. Before we go, let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Michael Stock, Quincy Pignola, Genju. Oh, I can't forget Graphic Prod. Also, thanks for joining us. You're welcome anytime. I thought he was gonna troll. I thought he was gonna be talking non-stop, but he actually, he stood his ground, and later on the conversation turned into a nice discussion of boxing. So I really enjoyed that, and you're welcome anytime, whenever you want. Also, shout out to Carlos Espinal, Genjuro77, Pavel, Punisher, Emmanuel Alvarez, Nicola Ferrari, Cachnello, Give Me My Fight, Kahal, Dino Perxio, John Gonzalez, Chris Gonzalez, Tony Man 2C, Weed Degree. I think Del Boy was in there as well in the beginning, but I can't see all the way back to the beginning. Who else am I missing? I got a Tony Man 2C, I already mentioned him. Boxing Fairy Tale. You guys know who you are. You make this podcast. Oh, Kiwi Box was in the chat room as well. Realistic Boxing. Azire. You guys know who you are. You make this podcast very entertaining. Same thing goes for the people in the Hangout. I think it's a great product, and I hope you people continue to listen to it. Don't forget to like, subscribe to BDA Live. Yes, we're still going to keep doing podcasts over there. Subscribe to Second Renaissance, the channel where anything goes. Hit the notification bell for notifications, and we'll see you tomorrow after the Haye versus Bellew fight, which should be at around maybe 6:30, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right, guys? So, again, thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care.
Peace.
Take it easy, guys.